You exit the Adventurers Guild after registering with your card and once again stepping into the streets of Asylvius. With your new companion by your side, you once again take in the surroundings and consider your next option. You recall what the receptionist explained to you about the world, about the Sun Faith, about Salkyrith, about the elves. She tells you that in the capital city of Salkyrith, Sol Imperia, there's a library in the capital city that contains much of the information you're looking for. However, you also consider the logistics of the whole situation. You don't exactly have money. You don't really know magic. There are fights with the beasts in the desert tell you of that painfully so. And so you consider your options. You have just registered with the Adventurers Guild, and what you recall from fantasy worlds and like things you learned by watching anime and manga, naturally you imagine that you could probably take commissions to increase your wealth as well as your status. That is an option you consider. Another option you consider is simply being almost nomadic and traveling to Sol Imperia anyways, maybe finding work there. A third option you also consider is, instead of finding the Adventurers Guild, attempting to find odd jobs around the city that might pay more, or maybe utilizing your skills to find another way to earn money. Regardless, your ultimate goal is to end up in Sol Imperia to learn more about this world, not just about the Sun Elves and the place you're in, but about everything in general. Specifically, you think about the gods as something you remember distinctly being brought up.
I decided to walk around asking people about if they have any employment opportunities.
You, seeing the bustling cities of Asylvius, you walk around and kind of ask around, aiming for the locals. So you attempt to only really discuss with Sun Elves, asking for employment opportunities. You walk up to one Sun Elf and ask them about employment. They look at you and say, "Looking for a job, huh? Well, the easiest option, kind of looking at your figure, I assume you're not from around here, is picking up some commissions with the Adventurers Guild. Alternatively, there is the marketplace where you might be able to find work working as an apprentice for a merchant. Other than that, you might be able to take up a job at one of the artisan facilities. You know, I'm sure you know the usual blacksmiths, metallurgies, smelteries, alchemy, the usual things."
I'm gonna go to the Adventurers Guild and ask around there, seeing if I can build a greater rapport with them.
Mm-hmm. You thank the elf for his guidance and return to the Adventurers Guild to attempt to find work before your inevitable journey to Sol Imperia. Yeah, you enter the Adventurers Guild, familiar to you. You just were there after all, and kind of look around. And you look around and notice a large bulletin board on the right, kind of next to the receptionist that you talked to earlier. You see adventurers crowding around it looking for commissions, and you imagine that that's where to go. However, you're that's where the commissions are. However, you could always ask around as well. Maybe speak to the I'm blanking on the term. The lady at the front of the desk. Why am I blanking on what those are called? Receptionist. Yeah. Receptionist.
I guess I'll walk up to the receptionist and start talking.
You walk up to the receptionist because you don't exactly understand how the guild works. You only really registered, and she says, "Oh, hello again. How can I help you?"
I'd like to register for some sort of mission or whatever the guild can offer. I'm still new here, so I'd like to. So can you inform me on what are my options?
She looks at you and says, "Oh, of course. Here at the Adventurers Guild, adventurers are ranked by letters. You start off at E rank, and then there's D rank, and then you go over there C, B, A, and there's S and double S. Double S adventurers, there are maybe a handful of them in the world, less than 10, I'd say. They are the cream of the crop, and beings. They're like the strongest of the strongest. Like, I'd say that the only real people who are stronger than them would be the supreme entities. But the ideal adventurer is A rank, usually. A rank adventurers are, like, generally speaking, the cream of the crop that aren't, like, extraordinary beings. However, with your standing not only as a fallen angel, one of the more powerful races, but with your 3 unique skills, as I recall, I think you should have no problem climbing the ranks pretty well. However, you will have to start at E rank. That is our policy. You can take on quests of E rank and one above your rank at D rank. However, do note that if you fail D rank quest, you will be held more liable than if you fail the E rank quest. On the board, she points and she motions to the bulletin board. You'll find quests of all rank. They're organized by letters, as you'll see. You can take on any E rank or D rank quests, and after completing completing 10 E rank quests or 5 D rank quests, you can take the rank up quest to become a higher rank. Alternatively, if you demonstrate an outstanding performance outside of a quest and get a recommendation from someone of power or influence, that could also get you special privilege into increasing your rank without the rank up test. However, that's kind of a random thing that just kind of happens to some people. The most traditional way to rank up is, as I stated before, taking on quests and taking the rank up quest. However, another rule stipulated is if you party up with 3 or more adventurers of a higher rank than you, you can join them on quests. However, there is a limit to 2 ranks, so at E rank, you can only party up with, if you party up with 3 C rank adventurers, you can take on C rank quests. However, if said C rank adventurers want to take a quest 1 higher than them, as is in the rules, like a B rank quest, you won't be allowed to take on. You can only take on C rank quests with them, and as you rank up to D rank, you'll be able to take on B rank quests if you're in a party of 3 C ranks or a party of 3 B ranks. Or and also naturally, I think you can assume if you party up with, say, a party of 3 or more A ranks, you can even if you party up with a party of 3 A ranks, you still cannot take higher than C rank quests, even if they are higher than C rank, simply because it's a liability on you, and although you are partying with strong members, we cannot guarantee your safety, and the last thing we need is our adventurers dying because they thought they could take on higher ranked quests because their friends are higher ranked.
Oh, that makes sense. Do you know of any opportunities or where I can find them? I'm assuming the bulletin board, but I'm not sure if that's where all of them are located.
She says yes. The bulletin board specifically is for commissioned quests. Anyone can submit a commission for anyone can submit a commission for adventurers. However, naturally, because of the limited size of the bulletin board, we put the quests that have the shortest due date on them. So if you look on those board, I guarantee most of those quests on there, especially for E rank, I guarantee you will be due no later than a week from now because we've prioritized due dates. But if you want, we have a catalog that logs every quest submitted, so you can browse through them. But do know, obviously, that'll take longer because there's going to be much more quests to shuffle through.
Alright. I will just look at the bulletin board.
Okay. If you ever need anything, just come to me and let me know. And if you want to view the catalog, also come and let me know.
I've been doing. I guess I just go to the bulletin board to see if there's any D rank quests there.
You thank the woman and go up to the board. You quickly, just out of curiosity, scan the E rank quests and notice that most of them seem to be menial chores petitioned by what's the term for? Customary and consumer businesses. Things like collecting herbs, moving boxes, harvesting fish, collecting meat. None of it really involves. They're mostly domestic things, and you imagine these are for, things like restaurants, etc., etc. You decide to ignore those because you think that, one, the pay isn't that good, and two, you think it's a waste of your abilities. Instead, deciding to scan the D rank quests and looking. The D rank quests seem to be more interesting. They tend to be, the D rank quests seem to be more along the lines of taking on small monsters. Of course, there are some quests that still involve harvesting, but the very, very menial things like moving stuff is not included in the D rank quests. You scan the D rank quests and notice some notice some quests notice some simple quests about taking out some monsters that are messing around in the plateau of the sun.
I choose to accept the quest and proceed to go on my journey, probably with my dog.
Mm-hmm. You look through the quests to find an extermination quest that seems simple enough for you. You find a D rank quest that says some low ranked slimes have been causing trouble in the northern parts of the plateau, and to head over there and deal with them.
I, with almost nothing to my name, I just grab the dog and start on my travel.
Mm-hmm. Before you leave though, the receptionist calls out to you and says that before he calls out to you to come talk to her real quick.
I heed her call and walk over there.
She says, "Oh, I forgot to mention yet. Before you, I see you've taken a quest already. Whenever you take a quest, specifically off the bulletin board or off the catalog, please submit it to us here, and we will track your and we will write down your name on the quest, and so that way, and then your quest." And she says that, and for monster slaying quests like this one, we be sure to confirm whether you've done this quest. Make sure to bring back proof of your deed. With most creatures, it can be done by simply harvesting a part of their body. Most adventurers prefer the ears because they're the easiest to collect. However, since it seems here you're doing a slime quest, just bringing some of their slime back, some of the residue slime should be enough.
I take that advice and I ask her to sign me up for the quest and then proceed to go on with my journey.
Mm-hmm. She takes the quest line and signs your name for it, and also asks if you need a bag to store your goods, your monster goods, noticing, the lack of items on your person.
I thank her and I say oh yeah, that would be helpful. Yeah. So
she hands you a complimentary what she calls just leather sack. You look at it and it can hold, if you had to estimate, it could probably hold 3 apples in it in terms of size.
Mm-hmm.
And you grab it and kind of tie it to your waist and head out. You exit the what am I thinking? You exit the guild, and using the map you gained earlier, you look towards where the northern parts of the monster plains are. And you remember the quest called for the extermination of 5 green slimes and 5 blue slimes. Extending your wings, you take off for the quest with the dog, just kind of in your hand. You use this also as an opportunity to gain more flying practice and soar across the skies, getting better with flight as time moves on. You fly across the plains, eventually reaching the northern parts, as stipulated on the map, and land. As before you land, you do notice a grouping of slimes in the north. You count 3 green slimes and 2 blue slimes.
Pulling out my sword, I slowly approach the blue slimes.
You slowly approach the blue slimes, as they seem at first. and notice that the blue slimes are slightly larger than the green slimes and seem to be moving quite quickly and seem to be moving slightly faster. You kind of take the stereotypical fantasy knowledge you remember from your world and imagine that blue slimes are likely the stronger variant from green slimes. The slimes notice you and begin to slowly blob towards you.
I attempt to move. I attempt to move towards them. I guess like trying to, I guess like keep a distance between them and space, so I could strike them with the sword.
Mm-hmm. The first blue slime approaches you as you begin to approach it. When you're maybe within 2 meters of it, it jumps at you.
I quickly try to use I try to use increase, I guess like my flight and my wings to try to get away quickly.
It bounces towards you, and you activate you flap out your wings and kind of boost backwards. With the skill increased flight, it becomes much easier for you to fly, and you easily invade the slime as it lands on the ground and continues kind of bouncing towards you.
To try out is there anything near me?
No, it's just planes.
It's on the ground. Okay. Uh, I rush towards it. Unsure of how it will attack me. Activating Silver Skies and just trying to rush through it with my sword.
Silver skies on what?
On I guess like let's just say like my like torso area to avoid too much injury.
You activate Silver Skies in an attempt to protect your torso and attack the slime with your sword. It bounces at you, but it's not that quick, especially compared to the demon, the fucking worm snakes you fought in the desert. And you kind of start to realize that compared to those things, these things are kind of a joke, admittedly. You slash at it once with your sword, and with your sword at the blue slime as it charges at you. You cut it in half, and most of the slime seems to burst, with some residue being left over. You realize that you might have been slightly overestimating these enemies, and have gotten a bit used to fighting actually powerful things. And you kind of sigh to yourself, realizing you may have been overestimating these slimes just a bit.
Yeah, that that might be true. I then step towards the next slime. First of all, I'd put it inside the pouch given to me. I then step towards the next slime and repeat this action by swinging towards it.
You walk towards the other blue slime as the three green slimes are kind of trailing behind it. It jumps at you and, with a lot less worry, kind of just slash at it again, and it pops again.
Remembering my experience in the desert and seeing the green slimes as perhaps practice, I try perfecting the plunging attack that I failed the first time I've encountered a beast.
You attempt to fly up into the skies and activate Silver Skies in your wings and create what is essentially a human anvil. You fall down on the slimes, destroying all three of them instantly.
I collect part of the slime again and continue walking, exploring for more slimes.
Mm-hmm. You collected the slime residue and now have the slime residue of 3 green slimes and 3 blue slimes. You walk towards and find another grouping of slimes with 1 blue slime and 2 green slimes. However, you notice that there seems to be another slime hiding in the grass you can't quite make out.
I tried to attack the slimes that are most furthest from the like bush, but and like the hidden slimes, and start off with those ones.
You attempt to unmask the slimes in the back, and as you get close, a red slime pops out. It seems to be similar to how the blue slimes moved faster than the green slimes. The red slime also seems to move faster than the blue slime. You assume that this is likely the tier up from the blue slime. The red slime bounces towards you and attempts to attack you in the same fashion the blue slime did.
I attempt to fly up, and this time instead of becoming an anvil, I try to stab the sword through it.
The red slime jumps at you and you attempt to basically stab the sword through it, and you're able to slash at the slime and kill it. The red slime bursts and you collect the residue. Now it's just the 2 green slimes and 1 blue slime.
Attempting to realizing that as I do have the skill like adapter, and I've started to try to get a hang of it. I try to quickly slash between all 3 of them, trying to speed up how I attack and stop acting so cautiously.
Realizing slowly how to fight these gelatinous creatures, you kind of just more haphazardly walk towards them and just kind of stab at them. Within a few seconds, you kill all 3 of them left and collect the residue. We now have the residue of 3 blue slimes, 5 green slimes, and a red slime. 2 blue slimes off of the quota met by the quest.
Realizing this... Wait, so I've completed the objective, right?
No, you still need 2 more blue slimes.
Okay. So I just continue walking around, trying to find more.
You walk around the, You walk around looking for more slimes. And it takes a bit to find some. You walk for maybe 30 minutes, but eventually you find a grouping of 2 blue slimes and 2 green slimes. However, there seems to be another slime hiding in the bush.
I quickly try to, thinking it's it's the same situation. I rush in real quickly, trying to repeat my quick slaughtering motion of the slime.
Wanting to take out what is likely the most powerful slime in the bush, you use your wings to quickly dash towards the bush. The other slimes attempt to jump at you, but they're too slow, and you slash your sword into the bush where the slime is. However, your sword bounces off of it. And it doesn't feel like a squishy bounce, you just hit gel. You feel like you literally just slashed a piece of metal.
I quickly back up and get ready to I quickly back up and try to get information from it based on its reaction.
You back up, realizing whatever you hit is probably not a slime, and what jumps out of the bush is a slime, but it appears to be a slime out of gold. Before you can even think about what to do in this new situation, the slime immediately begins running away. You can either chase after it or finish your commission and kill the slimes here.
I chase after the slime. Hopefully,
deciding that you can probably come back for these slimes later, you chase after the gold slime.
Have I caught up to it?
The gold slime seems to be, despite being made of what appears to be actual metal, you manage to keep up with it thanks to increased flight, and slowly gain on the slime.
Using Observant, I try to learn about its abilities and weaknesses.
Using Observant on the slime, considering its weakness, you're quickly able to learn that roughly about what the slime is. You kind of get an instinct that the slime is more or less a slime. But one thing you do note is that it has the ability to turn anything it touches into gold.
Okay, well, I don't want to get Midas touched, so realizing this effect, um I is my sword gold or
Yes, it has turned to gold.
yes. Okay. Well, realizing this unfortunate circumstance, uh without much ability to fight through a range, I realized that I might have to just give it up, as I don't want to get Midas touched.
Not wanting to get turned into actual gold, you decide to let the creature go. However, you look at your sword, and although it was just a shabby iron broadsword, you do realize that the sword has now been turned to solid gold. And although you were busy worrying about not getting Midas touched, the thought does occur to you that you now have a pure gold sword.
Yeah, and that could, that could be useful.
Yeah.
uh,
Although the physical capabilities of the sword have been dulled down because you recognize that gold is a rather soft metal, the thought doesn't leave your head that you now have acquired a gold sword.
I continue to search back where I found the blue slimes in order to at least try to complete this commission.
Yeah, you return to where the blue slimes were, and they haven't moved away. Yeah, without the sword, you quickly dispatch of the slimes. You using silver skies, I imagine, and collect the 2 green. So now you have 7 green slime residue, 5 blue slime residue, 1 red slime residue, and a fucking gold sword.
I okay, walking back, I think to myself, I would probably try to find like some place within Kyrith, maybe blacksmith or within the Adventurers Guild itself, to try to turn this into usable money in order to fund my travel into the main city.
You fly back to Asobia and return to the Adventurers Guild, while also noting that the sun is starting to set. It's maybe around 6 p.m. now. You return to the you return to the the Adventurers Guild and step inside once again. The guild is as bustling as it was before, and you you're now inside the Adventurers Guild.
I walk up to the receptionist, putting the slime onto the table and telling her that I've completed my mission.
Yeah. You go up to the woman who recognizes you, likely because of your unique appearance, and you put the bag on the table and say the quest has been completed. She says, "Thank you." Let me just look inside. Okay, 7, 5. Ooh, you also go to red slime. Would you like to just sell that as a separate thing?
Yes.
Okay, she collects the five blue and 5 green slimes, and hands you the 3 silver coins as a reward. And then she also hands you an extra silver coin for the red slime and 5 copper pieces for the extra 2 green slimes. You now have 4 silver coins and 5 copper coins.
Realizing this, I ask, realizing this, I thank her and I go towards or search for a blacksmith in the city.
As you turn around, the receptionist notices the gleaming gold sword on your side and kind of looks at it and chuckles and saying, "Did you have an encounter with a golden slime?"
Indeed I did, apparently.
He said, and she said, "I hope you didn't touch it, did you?"
I had, I was fortunate not to, apparently.
He says, "Well, I guess it's good and bad that your sword got turned to gold." He says, I assume you were probably wanting to sell it, considering a gold sword is kind of useless."
Yes. Do you know any places where I could sell it or a market?
She says, well, as you can imagine, a sword made of gold doesn't have much intrinsic value because, you know, it's kind of useless.
Mhm.
However, if you, yeah, there's a blacksmith district just on the other side of town, and you can probably find someone who will melt it down for you and actually get value from the gold.
I thank her and I start walking towards there.
She also, before you leave, she says, oh, by the way, gold slimes are incredibly rare. I'm honestly surprised you managed to find one. Only maybe a handful appear a year. On average, there may be 4 sightings of gold slimes every year. So, maybe even less, honestly. So, surprised you managed to find one, but, I recommend going back there at a future date, seeing if you can find it again. Regardless, yeah, you should probably get it. You'd be able to get a good amount of money for that thing. In terms of gold, of course.
I proceed to try to walk towards the blacksmith district, searching for any restaurant or any place I could get food, as me and the dog have not eaten yet.
Yeah. You begin to, by following the, do you want to ask the receptionist?
Sure.
Before you leave, you ask the receptionist, by the way, ask the receptionist about, any restaurants. She says, oh, of course. Well, as the blacksmith district is, if you leave, take a left, past 2 intersections, and just go left until you, around 3 intersections, and then take a right. That'll be the blacksmith district. And then if you go left, that'll be the residential district. You'll find an inn or 2. I believe there's 2 inns, whichever one you prefer, and then they serve food. Alternatively, there is a restaurant district, one crossroads back and to the left.
Okay. I'll first head to the blacksmith district before taking the left to the inn, where I'll probably spend the night.
Yeah. You step outside of the Adventurers Guild, once again to the bustling city of Asobia, and follow her directions. You head left past past 3 intersections, and then taking a right. Past 2 intersections and taking a right. You immediately the smell of sulfur and iron and fire and fills your nostrils as you enter the blacksmith district. There are a lot of blacksmiths around. And but you notice that the largest and most prominent one is kind of sticking out like a sore thumb almost.
I walk towards it to investigate.
You look at the large blacksmith, and there's a big hammer and like metal on it. It looks pretty established. You either go in or look for another blacksmith.
I go in and check if I can find someone.
You enter the blacksmith, and immediately the sounds of crashing hammers, hot fire, and coal is all around you. There are many, many blacksmiths, some human, some elf, some dwarf, some halflings. Regardless, it's a very, very, very impressive sight, you admit to yourself. You notice that there seems to be a chief blacksmith in the back of the room giving out orders to some people.
I help myself in and walk in, walking towards the chief.
You approach what appears to be the chief blacksmith, and he kind of notices you and waves off the guy he was talking to and asks, "How can I say greetings? You look like an adventurer. How can I help you today, kid?"
Do you guys buy materials? Specifically gold?
He says, buy gold? We don't necessarily buy golds. However, if you need gold processed, we can do that for you.
Looking around, I ask him, what exactly do you make here?
He says, oh, we make anything. Here at, okay, let me think of a name. Okay, he says here at Horton's Blacksmith, we make anything from armor to accessories to weapons to more finer things like jewelry. Whatever you need, I got apprentices and employees that specialize in that type.
Okay. I ask him, do you know where I could sell gold within this like city?
He said, well, he looking at the sword on your side. He says, he kind of chuckles a bit. Gold slime.
Yeah.
He smiles. He said, yeah, I've had a few customers like you. They're few and far between, but they do appear. What if you want, I can take that sword for you, melt it down, process it into bars, and take it off your hands and give you the funds for it.
I would like that, yes.
He said he takes the sword from you and puts it on a scale, and it takes a bit to process the weight of the sword. He notes that the sword is about 2 pounds, and or he notes it's about 2 pounds, and hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, we'll say 3 pounds. He says, okay, well, the sword itself appears to be about 3 pounds, which is a lot. You're lucky you found this gold slime, kid. Honestly, this will make you pretty wealthy.
I thank him.
He says the benefit of gold, while continuing his measurements, that the benefit of gold slimes is that unlike gold, which I'm sure you know comes in different purities, gold slimes turn, no matter how impure or how weird the material, into pure, solid, grade A gold.
I write that down because that sounds like interesting. I ask him, are there any other types of slimes that I should take note of?
He looks at you and says, I suppose you're an adventurer. I don't really know them that well. I only know of gold slimes because of what they can do. However, I am aware that there are green, blue, red, purple, and white slimes. I've heard from adventurers that purple slimes are capable of eating weapons. White slimes can explode into even smaller versions of themselves. And there's there's 2 unique slimes that I've also heard of called elemental slimes and poison slimes. It's said that, from what I've heard from adventurers, elemental slimes can manipulate the elements to attack their opponent. However, they're easily countered if you have the opposing element to them. And there's also poison slimes, which I think is pretty self-explanatory.
I thank him for the information. Sorry, go ahead.
The man further explains that gold slimes are incredibly rare. They don't live very long because of their existence, and when killed, turn to liquid gold. They are defensive creatures, as I'm sure you probably noticed if you experienced one, and will always run away. They spend most of their life deep inside of caves. However, turning natural ore into gold. The few of the gold mines that have been discovered in this world have people assumed to be cause of gold slimes. However, because of their rarity, this gold is often harvested and sold. In fact, a lot of countries can usually harvest the cave that a gold slime came from and use it to supply their nation for 2 years. However, I think nations have to be cautious with it, because if they harvest too much of the gold at a time, it can cause massive amounts of inflation. So, generally speaking, a gold mine discovered from a gold slime they have to spend a few decades slowly harvesting it, not to, bring their nation's economy to shit.
I'm okay. I take that information and I am listening. I interject eventually, asking him, do you guys make weapons?
He says, yo, of course we make weapons. He says, real quick, okay, so, this gold sword, about 3 pounds, so we can melt this down into I can melt this down into just a nice large gold bar. 3-pound gold bar. Translate that into money. Obviously, we don't have the permits to make coins. I could technically turn this into pure gold coins, but that would be illegal, unfortunately. The dwarf kind of scoffs. He says, yeah, don't think, that's also a good note, don't think that you can just manufacture copper, silver, or gold coins. Only the state is allowed to do that. He says, however, at the market value, 3 pounds of gold, which is pretty damn good, very impressive. I think I can give you 200 gold coins for it.
I'm ecstatic and I accept it, very openly.
Yeah. He does say that, he says that, yes, it would have been higher, but I do have to processing fees, so I'll have to make that 190. I hope you don't mind.
It is fine.
Yeah. He takes
I wouldn't be...
Yeah, he takes the gold sword off of you and hands you a large sack, very large sack, with 190 gold coins.
I ask him, is it fine if I can get a weapon made here?
He says, sure, but, he says, oh, sure, of course.
Must I obtain the material for it to be created, or...
He says, continue.
Must I, or should I, go on some quest to obtain some?
He puts his hand to his beard and kind of strokes it for a bit, saying, well, if you want to produce a weapon, just like a nice grade A, you know, standard weapon, nothing special, but you know it's good, you know it's reliable, something out of either steel or iron or whatever, then we can make that for you, without you having to find it. However, if you want a higher grade weapon, made out of valuable stuff, for example, a manulin blade, you're going to have to, like a manulin blade or a shadestone blade, one of those, then you're gonna have to get it yourself because we don't really have those metals on hand.
Do you know where I could get those metals?
Shit, the underground? He kind of laughs. He kind of laughs a bit and says, "I'm just fucking with you." Well, rare metals, like rare metals that have that carry magical properties, are different. It depends on the kind of blade you want. Do you just need a sword or something else?
I prefer to have a spear made, if that is possible.
Spear? Okay. Well, you want it to be magical or non-magical? Because that will change the type of ore you can use.
What are the magical ores?
Well, there's Xeniosferite, which is for electric magic. Do you use electric magic?
I'm not a practicer of electric magic,
okay, well, then you won't use that. There is the most common, but also rarest manulin, which is a very powerful purple metal that although is no stronger than steel, has incredibly powerful magic channeling capabilities that allow it to become very powerful. However, it's quite rare. Other magical ores include... Let me think about this. There is also Motlanite, which is good at conducting fire magic as well as earth magic.
Where would I find that, for instance?
Volcanoes.
Volcanoes. Then what other materials can be found? Because if it's a volcano, it does not seem fun.
Well, there is one other one that I know of commonly, Soulstone.
What is that?
It's a very unique and rare stone that has magical properties and is incapable of entrapping souls inside of it, hence the name. However, it's outlawed for reasons that I think you could imagine.
I'm guessing that you wouldn't be able to process it even if I did come across it.
No.
Okay. In that case,
he also says, other than that, There are stronger metals. For example, there's a lot of metals that are generally just strong.
Mm-hmm.
The best metals that are reasonably available, commonly speaking, is adamantite.
And do you know where I can get adamantite?
Deep underground is the best thing I can say.
Do you know if there's a marketplace where I could find some?
Adamantite? Fuck no.
Okay.
Best you could buy at a marketplace is mithril.
Okay. Then in that case, I'ma try to, I'ma have, realizing that I do need to set off for the central city, I do kind of want to understand this world a bit more. I just have him commission a regular, iron spear, and, ask him how much that'll cost, while I do also want to go to the inn, to sleep.
Is a simple, sturdy iron spear. I can make it steel if you want.
If that's possible, sure. How much would that cost?
Make it 15 silver.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. That's 15. You hand him a gold coin, and he turns it into 5 seconds. He hands you back 5 silver. Based on this conversion rate, you imagine that it's 20 silver for a gold coin. He tells you, all right, I'll have that ready for you by tomorrow, likely tomorrow evening.
That makes sense. I thank him, and I go on to the inn, because I do need to, get food.
You exit the blacksmith, and you exit the blacksmith and walk across the street. You remember what the receptionist told you, and find the inn. There's a very large inn. The largest one there has a big sign that just kind of says "inn."
Well, if it's generic, it has to be good. So I walk in and ask, like, what are they offering?
You enter the inn, and a very large, burly sun elf calls over to you.
I hear this call and walk towards him.
Hey, kid. How can I help you? You need a room to stay, food to eat? We got it all here.
I ask him, where can I order some food? As, I've been starving the whole day.
He points over to the bar. He points over to a bar on the left side of the tavern and says, that over there is our bartender. Ask him, and he is in communication with the chef. He can give you a menu of what we have, and you can order something off of that.
I walk towards the bartender and ask him what food they have.
Do either of you wait? Pause. Jared, do you want to know how much money Jamal got?
I wrote it in my memory.
Oh, he wrote it in his memories.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, who did he murder for this money?
He found a gold slime and hit it with a sword, and it turned the sword into solid gold. And 3 pounds of gold gets you something. That's all I'll say.
My Jesus, Jamal, the Deus Ex Machina, it's killing you.
Yeah,
Killing on your side.
More or less. Okay, put it this way. I'm probably gonna do that with Elpis too. In some way, he's gonna get money, and when Burb eventually finds an actual place to stay, I'll do that as well. Just because traditionally speaking, the traditional way of making money and climbing the ladder of corporatism, I imagine none of you want to do.
Who said I want money?
That's true.
I don't play these silly games with coins.
True. Verb is literally just gonna become a mass murderer.
Listen, think about it. Marath doesn't need money in order to eat. She can get her own food.
Yeah, by killing people.
Well, yeah, but also killing animals. I mean, she
And
can just
people.
fucking hunt fish.
And people.
And people. But that's beside the point. It's neither here nor there.
Sure. Yeah, Burb's a psycho murderer. Anyways, yeah.
I walk towards the bartender.
What you need, kid? The bartender asks.
What food do you offer here?
He grunts and hands you a menu, and you open it. It's a bunch of simple style dishes. You see steak. You see, although it's not called steak, it would appear they provide pictures on the menu. What appears to be steak, what appears to be chicken, what appears to be a salad, and then there's also some full course meals that include like a mix of the three, and as well as other stuff. You skim the menu a bit, and there's some other things, but generally speaking, since this is the dinner menu, there's just some simple meat dishes and the likes. You're not really picky.
I order 2 steaks.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're called.
Yeah. You order 2 steaks, and the bartender takes the menu, and after waiting for 15 minutes, he comes back with 2 plates of steaks. They are accompanied by a small salad, a cup of water, what appear to be mashed potatoes, and yeah.
With the 2 steaks, I give one of them to the dog, as you know he has not eaten, and I don't want to be convicted of animal abuse. You know?
Yeah, you kind of just throw the steak at the dog, and he just jumps up and just starts eating on it. The steak is pretty big. You imagine that's like enough for him, and whilst you eat the meal.
I eat the meal, and I wait for the check or whatever is coming towards me.
You finish the meal. It was really good. First actual food you've had here. It tasted really nice. Seasoning was on point. Steak was well cooked. After eating, you would call the bartender over, and he takes both plates away and charges you with 7 silver.
I pay him. I tip an extra silver.
You tip an extra silver for 8 total silver, and yeah, hold on.
Yeah, obviously I don't have drip.
I can't believe you're not dripped out.
Okay, I'm
Where's
poor.
your
Well, I mean, I'm not
supreme
poor,
merch?
but I need to get
Where's
my
your
You have a-
supreme merch?
Did you just
Where's
say
your
you're
supreme
poor,
merch?
Jamal?
Okay, that's fair.
He's
No.
lying
He's
to
literally
my
the richest
face.
person right now. Well, actually,
Nah.
yeah. Currently, he's the richest. If I'm lining up the Asylvius lore with Jamal's current time and date,
Wait, how much did Judd get?
he got 150.
Ah, okay.
So you're close behind. Although he did spend it, but like in terms of total money gained throughout the campaign, you have the most, but Dredd is trailing behind.
Is Salkirith more expensive than other places? Because I'm guessing so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You finish the meal and notice that the sun is really starting to kiss the horizon. It's maybe halfway down. Night's gonna be upon you in maybe an hour.
Before I do go, I do ask people around about the political situation of Salkirith, trying to learn more about its role in the world.
You
I guess.
literally don't even know magic yet, but okay, sure, why not? You
Well, I have to sleep in.
you decide to get to learn the political landscape because you're a fucking nerd. Before anything else, you just decide look at some sun elves and decide to approach them to talk to them about the politics, because I don't know, you're
That's
fucking-
the most base
you're
thing to
fucking-
do,
you're a
though.
fucking loser.
That's the most normal thing to do.
You're a
You just ask up and it's like, "What's your opinion on the leader?"
yeah.
No, but
You
I
approach
asked
one of the
them,
sun elves, yes.
I ask, I guess, like I don't know, random one of the sun elves. How is this country ran? Just like, I mean, well, first I start like, hello, how do you do this fine day?
Jesus Christ. You have never interacted with a human being, have you?
I'm not.
You sound so much like an insult. It hurts.
Yeah. The sun elf looks at you and says, yeah, how can I help you? Do you need anything? You kind of like looking at your appearance.
I ask them, I'm new, and I'm not from around here. Can you tell me more about Salkirith and its government?
He kind of looks at you and says, "Any particular reason why you want to know?"
I'm traveling into the capital tomorrow, or maybe the day after. I haven't really planned it yet. Are we, out of sake of interest, I do kind of want to know, how is this government or country ruled, since I've not had experience with it before.
Kind of looks at you and says, he kind of shrugs, willing to explain. He says, Salkirith is the city of the Sun Faith. It's the kingdom of the sun, the theocracy of Mendias. The entire place is led in Sol Imperia by the high priest of the sun, who is the overseer of the Sun Faith. He leads our country and is always a pure-blooded sun elf. He has, however, he himself has 5 cardinals who agree on a high priest that will be elected whenever the new one dies. The high priest of the sun holds the role forevermore until he dies or until he is voted out by every single cardinal. These cardinals of light, which are assistants to the high priest, oversee different branches of the sun of our faith. Each cardinal of light is picked by the high priest, and each cardinal oversees a greater region of Salkirith, and is the one in charge of directing bishops, building churches, and overseeing that whole general aspect of the religion that the high priest can't, account for at all times. The bishops themselves oversee local areas and are usually charged with the cathedral. They report to cardinals, and they oversee priests within their area. These priests are the standard people. They work in churches. They help the community, etc., etc. And then the priests are generally elected by a bishop, who gathers a catalog of the very most devout followers and picks a priest from the two. There is generally a large administration that works for bishops and cardinals that help them achieve power, that help them achieve their goals, and etc., etc. But our country is run by the benevolence of the high priest of the sun.
I believe I've heard his name before. Is it Alexor Arista or something along those lines?
That would be our current high priest, yes.
I've heard he's sort of a reformist. What are his new ideas?
The man kind of raises his eyebrows at you. He says, "Well, I'm not quite sure why a traveler is so interested in our politics."
You have
famous last words.
You kind of have to answer him,
Oh, sorry. Wait, you mean like why am I so interested?
Yeah.
I sort of I've never been in a city of this size, and I don't know, sort of curious on how these things work. I sort of have a passion for this stuff.
He kind of stares, his suspicion is kind of there, but he's like, doesn't really see much harm in it, and he explains the current high priest of the sun, Alexor, has been in power for a bit of time. If I had to describe him as a leader, it would be focusing a lot on the social problems. Not that there are many in Salkirith. We Sun Elves like to pride ourselves in, being the most inclusive of all these Elven kingdoms. I'm sure you've noticed by the amount of different races that live here. However, there have been issues with the mayors and other non-religious leaders because of these okay, let's let me rephrase this. However, an issue that has been facing Salkirith over the past few centuries is the cardinals, who, although religious persecution is banned, they tend to ignore this via their power, and and have been persecuting other members of the faith, especially Vitidists and Paxilists who have visited Salkyrith. And Sir Alexor, the High Priest Alexor, is attempting to crack down on this corrupt form of persecution by his cardinals, and he has actually held the record as the High Priest who has expelled the most cardinals from his administration in an attempt to build a government body that is actually willing to, treat everyone equally, because partially, and it's also economically beneficial to Alexor's rule, as with the upcoming Sunstar Festival, I'm sure you know about, he is hoping to have a higher amount of people visiting than ever before in Kyrith's history.
I thank him, and I bid him adieu. I say it's been an insightful discussion. It's been getting late now. I shall go back to my room, or I guess book one at this point.
Yeah. The man kind of thanks you, still kind of suspicious as to why you give a shit. But you decide to, ignoring, you kind of approach the innkeeper, and he says, yeah, anything you need, kid?
Could I register for a room, for the night?
Yeah, sure. I'll be 10 silver for 3 nights.
I give him the money, and, wait, for 3 nights?
Yes.
I ask him, is there any shorter duration, or is this the only thing they've got?
He says, well, you can also get 5 rooms for a gold. You can also get a whole week for a gold piece.
Okay, well, I see what's happening. I'm kidding, no, but I just say like it's fine. I'll take the room for 3 days, I guess, since I don't seem to have much of an option.
You hand him 10 silver pieces and take the room for 3 days. He points to the corner and says, "Go up the stairs, 3rd room on the right. That'll be your room."
I go there, bringing Eliza, and just, I guess, go to sleep for the night.
With the long day ahead of you, the long day finally passed, exploring Asobia and the nation of Salkyrith. You sit down and fall asleep, finally, like, getting some rest. You wake up and kind of stretching your wings, stretching your legs, and stand up out of bed with Elijah waking up as well, ready for a new day.
I walk outside of my room and back into I guess like the bar area or something, so I can get some food. As it is morning and my weapon will be ready during the evening, as said.
You step out of the tavern and approach the bar and ask the bartender what's for breakfast, and he says that breakfast is complimentary, and brings out within 10 minutes brings out a hot plate of food. It is what appears to be rice. Interesting to you because you've never seen rice before, but they have rice in this world, as well as what appears to be eggs, an assortment of berries and nuts, as well as as well as what appears to reminds you of like the Japanese egg dish you've seen before, as well as a stew, what almost appears to be chili.
I ask, is there any meat option for my companion?
He says, we normally don't serve food to dogs, but I mean, if you want the chef to just cook up a steak, I can just put that separately on, about to charge you for that.
I thank him and I accept the offer.
As you eat, he comes back 5 minutes later with a freshly cooked steak. He says that'll be 4 silver.
I pay him. Once again, I guess like with an extra silver as tip.
Yeah. So in total, you've spent a gold coin and 7 silver.
Yeah.
You thank him, and you feed the steak to Elijah and finish your meal as well.
What time would it be right by this time?
8:30.
Okay. Well, still technically not evening. I have a few hours to kill.
8:30 a.m. You dumb fuck.
Oh. Well, yeah. So it's not evening.
Yeah, evening is in like 12 hours, not a few hours. The fuck?
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Afternoon versus evening, you Jump.
Okay. Look.
Holy shit.
Uh,
Everyone point at laugh
okay.
at this fucking dude. Oh my god.
Realizing that this is an opportunity, as this is the like kingdom. Okay, as the sun.
Base dread.
I do ask around, seeing if I could learn any lights. Realizing that I could probably learn some light spells from these people, as it is my affinity. And try to. I start asking around, seeing if anyone does know any light magic.
You decide to go up to the innkeep, and because he's a sun elf, and ask him about light magic. He looks at you and says, "Yes, kid."
Do you know where I could learn basic light magic skills? Maybe like really weak ones, just as like to learn to practice.
Light magic. Well, I assume you have a light affinity. Although I would have expected someone like you to already know magic.
It seems I've not had the time to study it.
He seems confused by the fact, but says, "Well, if you want to learn magic, I think the fastest way is the Mages Guild."
Do you know where that is?
Yeah. Go out from here, go left, and then right down the intersection towards the entrance of the city. Down 3 intersections. I'm sure you know if you go right, you'll have the Adventurers Guild. If you go left, will be the Mages Guild and the Weapons Guild.
Mm-hmm.
That is, of course, facing the gate, not facing into the city.
Yes. I thank him, and I start walking towards there, because I do need to learn light spells. That would be helpful.
You head out of the city, and follow the, you head out of the city, and, follow a path. Follow the path. As you walk in through the busy districts, around the second intersection, you hear the sound of a commotion going on to the right of you. You can either continue down heading straight to the Mages Guild, or see what's happening.
I just continue walking. Wait, sorry. Is there some? Sorry, what happened?
It's just a commotion and a large crowd gathering to your
I
right.
will check out the commotion.
Interested by the commotion, you walk towards the crowd and kind of shove your way through to approach the center. You open the center, and what appear to be, notice there are 3 powerful-looking Sun Elf priests on interesting-looking horses. They're on horses, but these horses kind of almost bedazzle you for a second. They're very interesting-looking. They have black fur, no eyes, 3 pairs of legs with gold-tipped hooves. They have a gold mane with purplish fur hide as well, and a very long black tail. And although they don't have eyes, the horses seem to be able to see just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that in the center of the priests appear to be a hooded character. You can't really see that their face lifts up for a moment, and you see that it appears to be a moon elf.
Confused at the spectacle, I ask some of the people around what's happening.
You whisper to the man next to you, asking what happens, and the man kind of looks at you and says, that moon elf, that moon elf there was caught trying to sneak his way into one of the cathedrals, and was found snooping around behind the backstage, attempting to steal some artifacts.
Are those the Inquisitors that I've heard about before?
The man nods at you. As if on cue, one of the priests looks up and kind of says, "Give up already, heretic, and hand over your artifacts, and maybe then we won't kill you." You look around and notice that the crowd, very generally speaking, basically all of them, seem to be enjoying the spectacle. From what you can tell, they seem to all agree that with the Inquisitor's position.
Mm-hmm. Seeing this, seeing this, but feeling disempowered, as I don't think I can take on a state or Inquisitors. I I walk up to the Inquisitors and ask, what's wrong? I guess like Inquisitor.
You attempt to approach the Inquisitor, but he kind of notices you and says, "Stand back, civilian. I don't need you getting caught in the crossfire."
I take a few steps back, but am still trying to speak with him.
As the
So
civilian talks to as the Inquisitor talks to you, his face turns toward you, and as with his head, the elf realizes that his head is turned, and you look at the elf and realize that he's casting a spell. Before you can do anything about it, the elf stands up and casts Dark Lance, and a massive lance of darkness appears in their hand, and they throw it at the Inquisitor with his face turned towards you. The Inquisitor realizes this turnaround, isn't able to dodge it, and so he just jumps off his horse and rolls on the ground. The lance goes past his head, and the Inquisitor kind of yells, "Accursed heretic," and extends his hand and casts Radiance Lancer, and three spear-like bullets of light appear and cast towards the elf, smashing them into the chest, knocking them back. The Inquisitor stands up, dusts himself off, and kind of faces towards you and says, "Like I said, you should get out of here before you get hurt."
Realizing that he seems to have it more or less like under control, and not much I can do against people who are just casting spears and lances, I back off and go towards the Mages Guild, realizing the importance of magic, I guess.
You kind of walk away from the Inquisitors and kind of look behind you and see that the damage from the spell that the Inquisitor cast had definitely injured the elf enough to where the Inquisitors got behind them and handcuffed them and appeared to be taking them away. As you walk away, you kind of hear murmuring amongst the crowd saying, "I wonder what's going to happen to that moon elf." And then they say, "He'll probably get he'll be tried, and I'm sure they'll find him guilty." And then you hear another kind of elf murmuring over, "I wonder what they'll sentence him to." And then another elf kind of whispering as well, saying, "Who knows? I just hope that they won't be allowed in our kingdom anymore." Hearing these, you continue to walk as the crowd disperses and return to the mages, and we continue walking to the Mages Guild.
Walking to the Mages Guild, I ask around, seeing if there's someone I can talk to, like a receptionist.
Yeah, you approach the Mages Guild, and enter. Walking inside, the moment you walk inside, you notice it is a very different atmosphere from the Adventurers Guild. It's a lot more pristine, refined. The walls and the floors seem to be polished. Very well made chairs, sofas, lots of bookshelves stained in intricately made glass. Everyone in there appears to be good magic users, and unlike the Adventurers Guild, there is a receptionist at the front desk.
I walk up, I talk, and try to ask her if there's any way for me to learn light magic here.
You walk up to the receptionist and she says, "Hello there, how can I help you today?"
Is there any program or any books, or I do not know how you conduct this process, but is there any way I can learn light magic here?
She says, "Light magic? Sure. The easiest way, if you're not we have classes that can help you increase your proficiency, but but those tend to be more expensive. The cheapest way would just be to buy a book and learn it yourself."
What books do you have available?
He says, "Before I sell this to you, before that, may I see your guild card?"
I show her my Adventurers Guild card.
She looks at your Adventurers Guild card and says, "Okay, alright, that looks good. Yes, there are 2 books on light magic. There is Light 101, that covers greater light spells, and there is Mage's Guide to Light Magic, which includes greater and super tier light spells."
I'd like the latter, if possible. How expensive would it be?
That would be 30 gold coins.
30 gold coins. Realizing that it's probably worth it in the long term, I do spend the money.
You hand her the 30 gold coins, and yeah, and she hands you. He hands you the Mage's Guide to Light book, and yeah. She asked you, is there anything else you need? Any other magical information, or maybe magic books? Whatever it is, I'm sure we have it here.
Earth man.
You cut out, could you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Do you have any Earth magic book?
Oh, sure, of course. We have Earth 101, that's lesser and basic Earth spells. Mage's Guide to Earth, lesser, basic, and greater Earth spells. And then there's everything you need to know about Earth magic, which includes lesser, basic, greater, and super tier Earth spells.
Realizing I'm as it is a book and it can be destroyed, I'm just gonna pick up the middle one, or with
Oh, sure.
the greater.
Yeah, the Mage's Guide to the Mage's Guide to Earth, that will be 2 gold.
I pay it.
Yeah, you hand her the 2 gold, and she hands you a Mage's Guide to Earth.
What was the first one called again? Sorry.
Mage's Guide to Light.
Mage's Guide to Light. Okay.
Anything else you need? Any magical information? Magical commissions, maybe? Want to buy anything?
I ask, what is there to buy here?
She says, oh, we sell all sorts of things. Accessories, mainly accessories. You know, necklaces, hand bracelets, whatever you need. And we also sell cloaks and the like, hats, as you can see by the people here, people who are currently here. I'm sure you noticed a lot of them have cloaks, staffs, hats. We sell those as well. We also we do also sell light armor, leather, chainmail, and it generally does help to have those as well.
I do think that this would probably be a good place to like supply, so I do ask about what types of cloaks, hats, and like necklaces they have, I guess.
She looks at you and says, well, if you're looking for a cloak, I would advise a very light, very not very long cloak, because it might get in the way of your flight. So the way cloaks here work, magic cloaks work, is they enhance certain aspects of your magic. So you can either buy an earth cloak or a light cloak.
I prefer a light one.
Okay. Well. Okay. Well. The light cloak. We have a few simple light cloaks, some more advanced and some more advanced light cloaks that you can look at.
Sure. I'll look at the lighter ones currently.
I said basic or advanced. What?
Sorry, basic. There's a vacuum on.
Yeah, have you considered getting your own room? I know you're too poor to afford your own room, but like...
That's unneeded.
Yeah, you ask for us to see some of the basic cloaks, and she hands you a small catalog. You skim through the cloaks, and there are some there. You kind of skim through the cloaks, and there are currently 5 available. There appear to be 3 different types of cloaks. One reduces mana cost of light spells, the other reduces damage taken from light spells, and the other reduces the damage taken from dark spells.
I prefer the one that allows lesser mana cost for light.
He says, sure, do you want to look at the advanced ones as well, or no?
What would be the average price of advanced one?
Average advanced cloak, 10 gold.
Okay, I'll check out the advanced ones as well then.
You open the advanced catalog, and like the basic ones, there appear to be 3 different types in stock. One gives you mana reduction, even more mana reduction on light spells, and as well as, and on top of that, it also gives you increased, increased reduction to dark magic. One light cloak, which gives you increased resistance against every single elemental type of magic besides cosmic, as well as a slight mana reduction, but not as much as the first cloak. And the third cloak gives you protection against dark magic, and increased protection against dark magic, and you can pour mana into it to create a light shield around you to even further nullify dark magic, as well as physical and ranged attacks.
I'll take the third one.
She says, "All right, that'll be 12 gold pieces."
I pay her, I guess.
You hand her the 12 gold pieces and buy the cloak.
What classification should I write down for the cloak?
Just say light cloak.
Okay, light cloak.
She hands you the cloak and says, "So this cloak slightly reduces the damage you take from dark magic, and you can pour your mana into it to create a light shield. Generally speaking, you need at least 50 mana to create a shield. However, the more mana you put into it will not only, and 50 mana, if I had to estimate, I think keeps a shield up for about a minute. But if you pour more mana into it, it will not only increase the duration, but will also increase the durability of the shield. Do note that the duration of the shield cannot go above 3 minutes.
Okay. I'll note that.
Yeah, you take the cloak, and the cloak is beautifully woven with white. There are gold squiggles running along the sides and bottom of the cloak, with the actual lining of the cloak being a nice black. It has a hood that you can either put on or off. The hood appears to have gold runes engraved on the back, and the inside of the cloak is lined yellow.
I then ask them about whatever necklaces they have.
She says, well, the different accessories, we have bracers, gauntlets, necklaces, rings, and hand rings. We have wrist rings, finger rings, and we also have, those are the accessories we have. Any specific type you want?
I'll do a ring, I guess.
A hand ring or finger ring?
Finger.
Okay. She hands you the catalog of rings, and there appear to be basic and basic. Yeah, they're like the cloaks. There are basic and advanced, but there also appears to be one epic ring.
Interested? I ask about the epic ring.
She says, "Oh, the epic ring, yeah. A retired A rank adventurer recently donated us that to us, the Mages Guild. It's a really powerful omni magical ring that we appraise at roughly 80 gold."
I'm gonna go back to the advanced ones, but I do like the knowledge that if needed, I could come back here to check whether it's still here or not.
Actually, you know what? Think about it, change that. Make it 200 gold. Because I'm trying to think about how much I want. I'm thinking about money scaling here. Yeah, 200 gold. You look back at the realizing that's way out of your price range. You look at the advanced rings and see, like the cloaks, there are 3 types of rings here. The first advanced light ring increases the light damage you do. However, it only increases the damage from the hand that the ring is on. The second one increases slightly increases passive buffs you get from certain light magic spells, and the third one gives you a slight mana reduction on light magic spells.
I'll do the slight mana reduction.
Okay, you buy the ring and she says, okay, this ring reduces the mana cost of all light magic spells that are greater tier by 5%.
Okay. Greater tier only?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything
I'm writing
else?
it down. Ask her again. So for the cloak I bought, it gives me a mana shield for 3 minutes. If I spend some mana in it.
Also, the ring cost 8 gold.
8 gold. Okay, I'll subtract that. I ask. I think Dresser should let me know, but I ask. What was sorry? So it gives me a shield. It gives me resistance against dark magic. What was the third effect? If there is?
So it only reduces the dark magic damage, and you can put mana into it to make a shield.
Okay. All right. I feeling accomplished, getting the Mage's Guide to Light and Earth and Light Cloak and the Ring, I realized that I should probably. What time would it be by this time?
Noon.
Noon. Okay. Well, I still got some time to kill. So, I ask, what about hats? Because we all know you need a good hat. You know, you need the drip, as Jed
He
mentioned.
says, "Oh, hats. There are different kinds of hats. We have small hats, medium hats, and large hats."
I do a medium one.
Okay. She says, medium caps, lighter earth, or any other kind, or omni. It doesn't really matter. Up to you.
Light.
Okay, light magic caps, here you go. She hands it the catalog. Once again, there are basic, advanced, and there appears to be one epic one as well, that the receptionist notes was also donated by the same adventurer.
So that's too expensive. So I'm gonna go advanced.
Yeah. The advanced hats you read, the advanced hat appears, they have 3 categories. One is simple, it slightly increases the speed of light magic projectiles. The second one decreases the speed of dark magic spells that track you, and the third one increases just generally increases light magic damage and slightly decreases dark magic damage.
I'll do the third one.
You buy the third one for 10 gold pieces.
C, yes.
You said, and anything else, sir?
That'll be all for today.
He says, okay, well, if you ever need more magic materials, magic accessories, magic weapons, magic tools, spell books, magic lessons, just come to us and let us know.
I ask one final question. Does the where do the guilds operate? Since I know the Adventurers Guild and the Mages Guild operate here in Soundscapes, but where do they operate like foreignly?
Oh, the greater guild organization maintains all 5 guilds. That is the Adventurers Guild, the Mages Guild, the Thieves Guild, the Weapons Guild, and the Weapons Guild and the Artisans, and actually no, it's only 4. I'll say there's 4. Yeah, and the Thieves Guild and the Weapons Guild. All 4 guilds act semi-independently from each other, but work together to collaborate. Basically every single kingdom and nation in the world has all 4 guilds, except for a few like Sal Lunar. But yeah, each individual guild has their guild master, and the guild master reports to the 4 guild leaders, each of which collaborate to run the guilds. They are currently the current guild leaders are stationed in Zarconia.
Okay. The guild leaders are in Zarconia. I thank them and I proceed to walk around and I proceed to, while I have time, walk outside the city and try to practice magic.
With more time to kill, you exit the Mages Guild and fly out of the city, kind of blending in the outskirts, having the free plains to practice. You pull out the 2 books you have, the Mage's Guide to Light and the Mage's Guide to Earth, and are deciding on which one you want to try out first.
Realizing that a lot of stuff I bought were for light magic, I do try to learn light magic first.
You first and foremost you start with the light Mage's Guide to Light magic. The Mage's Guide to Light. You open the book and there is only one. It's a small book because it only includes greater magic. The introduction to the book reads that includes greater and super. Sorry. Yeah, greater and super. The book explains that welcome to Mage's Guide to Light. This book contains all the spells you'll ever need to know about light magic, including greater and super. Light magic is considered almost like holy magic, as well as powerful, sun magic, as some consider. It's different from fire, as instead of burning, it instead of burning, it doesn't burn. Instead, it's just bright. Light magic is the counterbalance to dark magic. Both are generally more expensive than other elements, even when on the same tier. However, they are cheaper than cosmic magic. The book explains
Okay.
there are no basic or lesser light magic spells, only greater and super. The book explains, and it says that and it says light magic, that's it. So you can either open to the the greater or super section first.
Realizing that greater sounds less than super, I'm gonna just start with that one.
You flip open to the greater section, and you recall your mana pool of 500, and you realize that these greater spells are rather expensive. Each one of them, on average, you say the average mana cost is about 160. Regardless, you go through them anyways. There are 10 greater light spells. The first one that catches the list goes as follows. You read them to yourself: Prismatica, Ball of Light, Ray Buckshot, Blinding Light, Light Arrow, Light Lance, Gleaming Aura, Radiance Lancer, Blazing Brilliance, and Angelic Pact.
I try. Do I need to write them down? Do I need to try them?
Yeah, you have to be able to use them to write them down.
Okay. I try Angelic Pact.
Angelic Pact seems interesting to you, and so you read its description. Angelic Pact, mana cost 190, cooldown 5 minutes, duration 3 minutes, charge time 10 seconds. The user summons a normal class angel to fight for them. Every 5 seconds, the angel is deployed, costs the user 20 mana.
Okay. I try it out, I guess.
You don't really know how to use magic because you decided not to ask the receptionist. But so you kind of just like try to just imagine the spell and attempt to cast it. It seems simple enough because you're literally just casting you're summoning an angel. You try to imagine an angel in best your ways and attempt to summon this angel. You fail and fail and fail, and after maybe an hour of attempting to summon the spell, you eventually get it to work and summon an angel.
In that case, when I do summon the angel, does it just cost like the 190 flat and then like 20 extra every time I use it?
20 flat 190 flat, 20 mana every 5 seconds the angel is deployed.
Okay. I proceed to try to mess around with it, seeing how I could use it to like target in front of me, and maybe using it on like some trees, just like for
You
practice.
attempt to order the angel to attack, and it creates it materializes a light sword in its hand and attacks the tree ordered it to attack, cutting the tree into pieces within a few seconds.
Realizing this, I stop the spell, trying not to drain too much mana.
Yeah, you cancel the angel, only spending 20 mana on having it out.
Should I go on?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. I look back into the book, trying to find another spell I could do before I run out.
You go through the list of spells, and they include Blazing Brilliance, Radiance Lancer, Gleaming Aura, Light Lance, Light Arrow, Blinding Light, Ray Buckshot, Ball of Light, and Prismatica.
Remembering the golden slime, which I did not have any range way of fighting it, I try to learn Light Arrow.
It says, Light Arrow, mana cost 150, range dependent, cooldown 5 seconds, duration charge not applicable. Only works when the user has a bow drawn. If so, they create a light arrow in the drawn bow.
Realizing that I do not have a bow on me, I look back into the book.
The other spells includes Prismatica, Ball of Light.
I'll do Prismatica.
Prismatica seems to stand out to you, and it actually comes with its own little footnote. It says, Prismatica is the light weapon. Every single element has a elemental weapon that comes with the spells that can be summoned. These weapons are a bit unique to normal spells because they stay with you for a while and you can use them to fight with. It explains that all elemental types have their own unique weapon to them. Prismatica is the light magic weapon. It says mana cost 200, range 35 meters, cooldown 3 minutes, duration. Also, I should copy and paste the angelic spell before I forget.
I put the 2 down there. They're
Anyway, you read the spell and it says cooldown 5 minutes, duration 3 minutes, range unapplicable, charge time. Actually, no, that's the wrong spell. Fuck. It says range 35 meters, cooldown 3 minutes, duration 5 minutes, charge time unapplicable, mana cost 200. The user summons a crystal prism made out of light to wield. This prism can fire rays of light when mana is poured into it. It can also fire one concentrated ray of light and emit a light shield when fueled with mana. Finally, it can also shine blindingly bright when filled with mana.
I tried deploying it and imbuing it with mana, seeing if I could do the same thing to like another tree. I guess I'm a real deforester.
You spend another hour because you have no idea how magic really works, because you didn't bother to ask. Start attempting to summon Prismatica. It takes about an hour, but you eventually get it down and are able to summon it on cue. You spend 200 mana summoning Prismatica, and a large rainbowish whitish prism appears in your hand. You point it towards the tree and attempt to pour mana into it to fire the concentrated ray. It costs you... you pour mana into it and mana rapidly drains. In just like 5 seconds, you drain about 50 mana. But over those 5 seconds, you manage to shoot a massive beam that literally just completely destroys a tree from existence. You're down to 40 mana.
I choose to not exhaust myself anymore with mana. Happy that like I've discovered at least 2 spells, even if I'm not too good at them, and I'll try to practice some more in the future.
You cancel Prismatica, and over the hours you spent learning the spells that took longer than they should have because you didn't bother to ask the Mages Guild about how to learn magic, just like how you thought you could just fly on instinct because you're fucking stupid. You realize it's starting to become late and should probably head over to the blacksmith.
I walked back there trying to pick up the spear.
You head over to Horton's place, and you enter, and he kind of greets you. Hey, kid, here for your spear?
Yes. I go and I ask, what is, can I pick it up? Is it finished?
Yeah, sure. Of course, I have it right here. He hands you the spear, and it's a very nicely well made. You feel the what's the term for it? The staff part of it. Very firm, very well made wood. You can tell it's not going to break easily. You look at the tip, it's expertly made out of pure steel, and it looks really sharp.
I ask if I can get like some sort of like holster or like something to tie around my waist in order to hold the spear more easily.
He says, yeah, sure, I got a bunch. It's kind of in the back. Do you want one to do you want to strap it to your back, I assume?
Yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah, sure.
How much do they cost?
That'll just be like 10 silver.
I give him the money and
yeah.
Thank him for the purchase, I guess.
He goes into the back and it brings out a holster for your spear, and you equip it and put your spear on your back.
Realizing that I now have the spear and it is evening though. I thank him for the spear. I thank him for his help, and I ask him, does he know any directions into the capital?
He says directions for the capital. You'll have to go to the. He says, I don't really know the exact directions, but I mean, if you have a map, you should be able to get there. No problem. It's kind of hard to miss a blindingly beautifully brightly lit city in the middle of a plains.
That is fair enough. I do. I take off. On the journey to there. Hopefully, thinking I can pick up some fruits or some food for Eliza if needed.
You decide that that since it's the evening to head out now, hoping to, I don't know, maybe make it there at night so it's easier to see the city. I don't fucking know. Your thought process is weird. You grab Elijah and take off once again for Soul Imperia. You fly through using your map as a guide. The sun begins to set, and eventually it's impossible to see. Well, not impossible to see, but it's nighttime now. The ground becomes harder to see as you fly closer to the ground, so you can still see your way. And eventually, after flying for maybe 2 hours, a bright light begins to appear over the horizon.
I continue towards it.
Yeah, you continue flying towards the bright light, and as you approach, the city and capital of Sol Kyrith appears in front of you, Sol Imperia.
Remembering the custom of needing to register stuff and speak with the border entry or border control. I walk up to the whatever entrance I can find and try to find someone to speak to.
You land at the gate, and the guard asks you, "Halt! Is that your business?"
I'm here to enter the city and explore its libraries. I've heard it's some of the most extensive in the world, and on the pursuit of knowledge, I believe that this is probably one of the best places to be.
Guard stares at you for a bit and says, "Identification, then?"
I show my Adventures Guild membership.
Looks at your guild card and says, "Step inside." You enter the what appears to be like almost a checkpoint, and another guard stationed there says, "Please place any belongings, magical artifacts or weapons on the table for inspection."
I take off my hat. I've given my spear, my hat, my cloak, my ring.
The man spends 5 minutes inspecting the items, making sure nothing's weird, and he hands them all back to you. And he stares at you and says, "Welcome to Sol Imperia."
I thank him and I continue into the city.
You enter the city, and you are even more blown away than the grandeur you experienced in Asobia. Asobia itself was beautiful, but Sol Imperia really just takes it away for you. Every single building is beautifully aligned. You imagine that literally every city is made out of marble, with literal gems lining as decoration. It is so incredibly elaborate. The buildings and tiles appear to be made of solid gold, although that's probably not actual gold. Everything is ornately made, and the architecture is very well done. The streets are perfectly paved. The symmetry of the bricks is immaculate. It is, and even at the middle of the night, the city seems to shine bright as the sun. And although there aren't really many people out and about, because it is, of course, still night, it is clear that this city that represents the Sun Faith, the High Priest of the Sun and his followers, definitely keep it very clean and pristine. And the one thing you notice above all else as you enter the city, is that although it was the middle of the night where it should be cold, you feel a sense of contentment and warmth as you stand inside the city. It feels like a warm blanket is wrapped around you. Not too hot, but enough to ward off the coldness of the night. It is a really surreal feeling for you.
I guess I just walk around the city just trying to investigate.
You walk into the city, and there's only a few people out at night, mainly night owls, You're not really sure where to go because from what you estimated from the sky, Sol Imperia is easily at least 3 times as big as Asobia.
In that case, I just I guess I just like keep walking around until I find something that catches my eye.
Just kind of appreciating the city, you kind of just walk around in its beauty and grandeur, just appreciating almost the pristineness of everything. You walk around for maybe an hour, kind of just exploring, but not really coming up with anything of note because you know everything is so beautiful. You kind of don't know where to go.
I guess like can I see any difference in the city? Like I guess like I just keep walking like deeper into the inner city.
You continue walking deeper into the inner city as a few sun elves kind of glance at you briefly, and you kind of just walk deeper into the city. As you walk, the buildings seem to get more beautiful and more tightly knit together.
I guess at this point, I just keep walking. Next time I see a person, I'll ask them if they're like, I guess like where I can find the library. If
you notice one of the civilians kind of chilling, he's kind of enjoying the nights, and you walk up to them and he says, "Can I help you?"
Hello there. Do you know where I can find the library from here? It's probably closed, but do you know how far it is?
The library, in the Pantheon of the Sun, yeah. You just continue heading left, and continuing forward, the first left you see, head down that left, and you'll see a massive cathedral. You can probably actually see it from here. He points up into the sky, and you can see a very large cathedral in the distance. He just says, "Yeah, head down forward, first left. However, I should note that the library is currently closed. It will open in the morning."
Okay. I just walk closer towards it, I guess. Looking for any inn or any place, like a restaurant or something I can stay in or pass the night.
Instead of doing the common sense thing of just asking the sun elf for a location to the inn, you instead decide to go in on your own like a fucking idiot. You head left and head forward and continue left, looking for any inns or restaurants on the way. You don't see any, and you're kind of close to the building, to the Pantheon of the Sun, and now you're kind of just standing there admiring the architecture, but of course not able to go in. And now you kind of stand there a bit lost and unsure what to do because you're a dumbass and just ask the elf you were talking to.
I guess I just I go back and just like, sorry man,
You
checking if they're still there.
You walk back in a walk of shame, and approach the elf and ask him if he knows where any inns are. He looks at you again, confused as why you asking him now, not earlier, because any normal person would have just asked him there, and I don't know.
Yeah, I got it.
And he says, yeah, if you continue forward and take the next right, you'll see the Sun Inn. It's a very common inn that a lot of people use.
I guess I just go forward to the right and try to book something into the inn.
You follow his directions and approach the inn and enter. It's pretty late at night, so there's no one at the desk, but there appears to be a bell.
I ring the bell, I guess.
Mm-hmm. As you enter the inn and walk up to the receptionist's desk, you admire the fact that even the simple inn is really intricately well made. It reminds you more of a luxury hotel than an inn in your old worlds. And you walk up to the counter and ring the bell. And after waiting for a few minutes, a sun elf appears, tired, and asks, "What do you need?"
I ask, can I book a reservation?
He yawns, saying, "Fine. How long do you staying here for?"
Probably a week.
He says, 2 gold pieces.
I pay him. I ask him, where is my room?
He says, take the elevator up to the 3rd floor. Your room number is room 318.
I guess I just do that.
You go to
And
the
just,
elevator, and light magic seems to activate, bringing it up. You are really startled, not expecting elevators to exist. But you exit, the door open, and the light magic cancels, and you walk out and notice a very hotel-esque style. Lots of rooms going down. One side of the hallway points to rooms 300 to 315, and the other is 300, 316 to 330. You head down the right to your room 318, find it, use the key the innkeeper gave you, and open it, and you are once again astounded by how modern the hotel room looks. It feels almost weird to you that they call this an inn.
I guess I lie down and try to catch some sleep because it's I'm gonna guess past midnight.
The floor is carpeted with a bathroom on the side that even comes with a shower, you notice. There's windows on the side to show the city of Imperia, and there's some lamps that are off currently, and a very large bed with beautifully looking white sheets. There is also a nightstand, chairs to work on, and one thing that immediately catches your eye is a fridge. You walk up to it in curiosity and open it, and notice that it's being powered. There is a rune, and it's being powered by ice magic to keep things cold. And you close the refrigerator and go into bed, still very impressed by the technology of Imperia, and fall asleep soon. You wake up in early morning, maybe around 9 p.m. and stretch.
I then get up and go down to the receptionist at the inn and ask if there's any food around.
You go down to the reception. You exit your room and notice that there are maids coming by. As you walk by, she asks you, "Oh, housekeeping?"
I say sure.
She nods at you and heads over to your room and enters it as you head down the elevator. You head down the elevator and approach the receptionist desks, and she says, "How can I help you?"
Do you know where I can get some food in the city?
She points to the left and says, "Yes, we offer free breakfast over there." She points, and you notice a large room that appears to be like your standard hotel breakfast area.
I go there and
you go over you go over to the breakfast area. Continue.
Sorry, I was gonna say I go over and ask for a menu or something, but
yeah. You go over to the and notice that there is a very large pot. You open it and notice that there is rice, and then in the 3 more metal pots, and open it, and there are 3 different kinds of chili. One appears to be a more meat-based chili. The other seems to be more herbaceous and vegetable-based chili, and the third seems like a mix of the 2. You notice that there's also dispensers for water, milk, and juice, as well as bagels on the side, and some what kind of looked like a mix between a quesadilla and an omelet, as well as a large basket filled with fresh fruit and salad in the other bowl.
For myself, I guess I just get rice and the bagel and milk and everything. But I also want to get the chili with some meat in it, because I would just toss the meat to the Leise, I guess.
You get a bowl of rice and grab a bagel and some fruits and a glass, and then also fill a bowl with meat chili and give it to Elijah. Continue.
Is that gone?
No, you go.
I don't really have anything to say.
Okay, well, then you go towards one of the tables and sit down and start eating your food. You and Elijah finish your meal, and suddenly a demon, what appears to be a demon, approaches you. He's smiling at you in a nice way and kind of says, "Well, hello there. I don't really see many fallen angels around here."
I greet him and say, "Oh yeah, yeah, this not, yeah, that's fair. I feel like I haven't seen many fallen angels.
Yeah.
This is my time here either, but
Mhm.
I've seen a few.
Yeah. He says it's good to meet you. My name is my name is Markov. Uh, he said, in fact, I don't actually see many demons. Don't really enjoy. I don't really see many demons in Soul Imperia outside of the Sunstar Festival. So it's just wanted to say hi, fellow demon to demon.
I greet him. I say, where are you from the demon realm?
He says, "Oh, I'm from the Kingdom del Pandemonia. What
Mm-hmm.
about you?"
Me? Um, I don't really recall. I'm gonna be honest.
He said, Oh, amnesia?
Yeah, it seems so.
He said, so what's your name, by the way?
I go by Kylian.
Okay, nice to meet you, Kylian. What you doing here in Soul Imperia, if I might ask, considering I don't see many demons in, the Sun Faith capital of the world.
Mm-hmm. I'm on a journey to explore the world and see as much as I can for myself. Inside the capital has a huge library, I've heard, and I've wanted to see it for myself, see what I can learn from it.
Ah, yes, the library. Yep. That and the yeah, I've been there myself. The Salkirith library is very impressive. Although from what I've heard, the Bibliovania in Salivictus even trumps that, which is hard to imagine. But obviously, as not a high elf, I've never got the chance to see it myself.
Well,
He
I
says,
ask him. So go on.
no, you go.
Uh, ask him. How did you get here? Um, as like a question, like to Salkirith. Did he take like a boat, or is there other modes of travel?
He kind of stares at you confused. He said, Marikoth kind of looks at you and says, well, I was summoned here originally by a human who requested me to help them with some monster hunting. And however, during the hunt, they got ambushed and were killed. And so I ended up here, and I figured since they were dead, I kind of took up their corpse as a physical form.
I say, um, uh, ask him what he's doing here specifically. Why
Yeah.
Salkirith?
Yeah, he says, oh, well, the person who summoned me was a sun elf, and they requested my assistance in the Plateau of the Sun. And with a new physical form and nowhere to go, I kind of migrated into Salkirith and got used to it. I considered moving back to the Demon Realm, but to be honest, with the current station and the current situation in Pandemonia, I'm not too keen to return.
What is the current situation in Pandemonium?
He says, well, you wouldn't know, but basically Pandemonia is known for its very, very, like, chaotic nature. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the people are very, very, very crazy. That's hence the name, I'm sure. In the beginning, when it was first founded, it was meant to be a very, like, free, like, no bars back, demons can be demons kind of place. However, recently, I'd say over the past, I'd say recently, it started to fall, it's starting to get worse and worse. The freedoms many of us demons, by the way, he introduces himself as a Cambion, a half demon, half human, and
Mm-hmm.
he explains that it used to be, like I said, a place where demons could be demons, where we could be the people we wanted to be, hence the name Pandemonia. However, recently speaking, there have been a lot more rise in stricter forms of government, lots of tariffs, lots of rise in nationalism and anti other national propaganda. And when you're a part of the demon empire, it's generally not a good idea to shun your fellow nations. So
Mhm.
that hasn't been, and so we've been experiencing more and more restrictions on us, especially by El Dorado and the city at the end of the world, which hasn't been fun. Prices have been increasing, and although we are technologically advanced, doesn't mean we have good quality of life. And so, especially a lot of people have been migrating away from the city and moving to Delphar, or alternatively El Dorado, or even West Point, just as a means to get away from the mass political chaos, because we like chaos as demons, but political chaos is not quite as enjoyable.
Seems you got lucky by getting summoned.
Yeah, you think so? I do wish to go back. I kind of miss some of my friends, but I mean, honestly, I think the fact that this hyper religious kingdom is somehow more politically stable than Pandemonia, I think, speaks volumes. Hopefully, eventually the Demon Emperor will step in and fix things. But with the current Demon Emperor's very extreme policy of non-interventionalism in his empire, I'm worried he's not going to do much about it.
I ask him. I'm sorry, but with this amnesias thing, who is the current emperor?
Lucifel Harthorn, the most considered by many the most powerful demon emperor in the world. You know, he actually has the rumors have it that he actually has 2 apex skills.
That seems that seems to be is he even stronger than, is he the strongest entity in this world?
Oh yeah, by a long shot. People theorize that if Seraphiel, Daedalus, and Cassiel didn't exist, he could probably take on the entire Pantheon by himself and win. Of course, those are just rumors, of course. There's obviously some scrutiny to be had, but at the very least, we all know that one-on-one fight with any god other than the first gods, he'd easily win.
Okay. In that case, realizing that I do kind of want to get to the library, I tell him goodbye, and I start walking towards there, seeing how I can enter.
Yeah. He waves by as well and saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm also staying in this inn at room 205. So if you ever want to talk or maybe learn more about the demon realm, seeing your amnesia, just stop by and let me know."
I proceed to continue on my path towards the library.
Waving goodbye with Elijah quickly behind you, you thank Marikoth for his information and continue on your way to the library. The city of Sol Imperia is much more bustling now that it's not the middle of the freaking night, and yeah, there are a lot of people moving about, and just like Asobia, you note that although there are more Sun Elves, there are an interesting amount of non-Elven races. You walk back on the path, and eventually reach the Pantheon of the Sun, and notice the entrance at the front.
I just keep walking in, seeing if there's any registration needed, or I need to talk to someone.
You enter the Pantheon of the Sun, and it is a very very beautiful. It's even more beautiful than the rest of the city combined. It's so elaborate, beautifully architecture, and the religious aspects of it are just really catch you off. And you don't know, obviously, they're like the grandeur of it all. It's clearly that this is the home of the High Priest of the Sun. There's no doubt about that. You notice a receptionist at the front, taking like people talking to them.
I go up there and I guess like waiting after everyone finished speaking with them. I speak to the receptionist to try to get more information about like what to do.
You approach the receptionist and she says, "Oh, hello there. How can I help you today?"
Do you know how I can see the museum?
She looks at you confused, saying, "We don't have a museum here."
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm brain dead.
What the fuck are you smoking? Kindly? Like,
I don't know why. I just like.
You just say museum. Everyone fucking pointed laugh at him. Jamal really just said museum.
That's just
Right?
Okay.
laugh at
The
him,
library.
lol. Laugh at this loser, this fucking dumbass. Couldn't even do the Fontaine quest within a week. Fucking point and
Okay.
laugh at this dude. Fucking loser.
I still did the quest.
Fucking
though,
loser. Fucking
that's what matters.
fucking loser. Little laugh at him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
Imagine
see.
censoring imagine censoring your message about talking about the lore, thinking that you're not the last one to do it. What a fucking loser, bro.
I know. I don't want to be like the one that spoils it for someone.
Yeah, even though we all did it.
Okay, I get that.
Anyways, she says, "Oh, the library. Yeah. Go." She points to the right side, points to her left, and says, "To take the elevator up there to the fourth floor. That will be the library."
I guess I just take the elevator and
You thank her and head over to the elevator, and take the elevator up to the fourth floor. You exit and are immediately greeted by a massive fucking library. Like, it's maybe 30-40 feet tall. There are like multiple gangways and railway and like gangways and gallows. There are maybe about five individual floors of books with staircases on the sides to get up to them all. Like, it is just an absolutely massive collection of books. And you notice that in the center is a 360 directional table with a bunch of librarians doing work.
before disturbing the librarians, I want to have a look around, see if there's like start reading some of the titles off the shelves, just checking.
You head over to before wanting to ask librarians, even though that's the first thing you do when you enter a library and it's their job, your social anxiety takes over and you don't want to disturb the people and literally ask them to do their job because, you know, you're fucking weird like that. You walk up to some of the shelves and look around the books and to see anything, and the titles are just like, some of the titles of the books just they go completely beyond you. So I mean, some of them are fiction, a lot of them are fiction, but you know, fiction books, you assume this is the fiction section. Of course, you would know that if you just asked librarians, but you were too scared to do so.
Okay, well then I go up to the librarians and ask them what type of books they have.
You walk up to one of the librarians and she says, "Hi, how can I help you?"
What types of books can I find in this library?
Oh, she
And
says
where are they
says
organized?
more or less anything. Fiction, non-fiction, sci-fi, fantasy, history, culture, you know, magic, wars, magic history, god history, really geography, scientific books, mathematical books, books on craftsmanship, books on metallurgy, books on, you know, artistry, really anything. We have it.
In that case, I go and check. Okay, I ask her where would I find the books for the. I guess like let's do geography.
Geographical books, that would be third floor on the left. There's going to be a large section for geography.
I guess I walk up to the third floor then.
You find the staircase and walk up to the third floor and head over, and you see, as you walk closer, a sign that does label geography. You approach, and you approach the bookshelves, and you see like a whole bunch of you approach the shelf, you see a whole bunch of very specific, very intricate books. You notice that there are some larger books that stand out. That seem to be holistic books that generally cover everything. But like you see some of these some hyper specific books. Like some so you skim some and they say shit like geographical history of the Oasis, geographical history of the Ponta region, geographical history of the North Incheon region, geographical history of the Southern Forest region, geographical and botanical history of the forest in the highlands. Like there's so much shit here that it's almost like overwhelming, and you just like you could be here for months reading them all.
I go and kind of see like the holistic books. Open one of them and open to like the titles page.
Yeah.
You know, like seeing like an
You
overview.
open the you open one of the books just in an attempt to get a good idea. You find one of the holistic ones. There appear to be one of them is a general geography of Althvinhaim. Another one is a general. There appears to be a general geography set. One of them says the general geography of Althvinhaim. One says a general geography of Demon Realm. General geography of Osterbenog, and then there's more specific ones: general geography of Ovania, general geography of Dalhaven, and general geography of Kestriel.
Realizing that, I guess like I just start flipping through them, trying to learn more about the geography. Realizing that maybe later I should write this information down so I can have it with me.
Like you need to grab a book. You can't just.
What?
Which one do you grab? That isn't what?
Oh, sorry. I guess like first, Castriel.
Okay, you grab a book on the continent you're not on. Sure, I guess.
Okay, fine. Then Albania.
You do what any normal person would do and grab the grab a book about Elvania because, you know, a sudden voice in your head told you you're fucking stupid. The book opens and it says, there's a chapter that says Introduction to Elvania, and you notice the chapters include the Haldrados Forest, the Oasis, the Underground, the Alban Mountains, the Evernight, the Kinshin Desert, the Tyrian Mountains, the Great Fairy Forest, the Ora River Complex, the Origin Lagoon, and the Plateau of the Sun. Are all chapters in this book.
I guess like I'll learn about the underground first.
You decide to skip the introduction of the general's introduction to Elvania because okay. And
Okay, look. I'm not doing this. Okay, well, okay, fine. I'll look at the introduction, I guess.
introduction, it says, this is the paraphrasingly and summarizingly speaking, the book introduces saying, this is the holistic book about the great Fae and Elven continent of Elvenia. Elvenia is known as the Elven continent, but is also home to the elves and the Fae, as well as some other species like orcs and to a lesser extent humanoids. The first civilization that ever appeared here is in the Great Fairy Forest in the center of the island, known as which were the Fae, and their leader, the Fae Monarch. Later on, as during the Mythical Age, elves would eventually make the journey from Dalhaven to Elvania and set up their home here. If you see the book provides a map of Elvania and says, as an overview, the Elvania is a very diverse and magically rich continent. And the northernmost part is the Evernight, home of the Moon Elves and Sal Lunar. To the west, dominating about 1/3 of the continent, the Kinshin Desert, home to the forgotten Kinshin Kingdom. As well, in the northern parts of the Kinshin Desert are many long plateaus that can make travel difficult. In the southern part are dunes and monsters aplenty. Separating the Kinshin Desert and the Evernight from the rest of Elvania is the Alban Mountains and the Tyrian Mountains, two massive mountain ranges that basically divide the continent in two. East of the Tyrian Mountains, as mentioned before, is the Great Fairy Forest, home to the Fae. Southeast of the Alban Mountains, of course, the Oasis, a rolling hills and plains of the Elvania, home to the village of the Elves. East of that is the famous Haldrados Forest, named after the founder of Sal Wallonia, Haldrados. It is incredibly dense and rich forest, home to Sal Wallonia. And if you'll also notice, just south of the Alban Mountains is the entrance to the Underworld. The Underworld is the home of Sal Fantis, the home of the Drow Elves. The home of the Drow Elves. And of course, naturally, you'll notice southeast of the Great Fairy Forest is the Plateau of the Sun. There's the Plateau of the Sun, home to Sal Kyrith and the Sun Elves. Lastly, in the center of Elvania, you'll notice is the Origin Lagoon. And in the very center sits the capital of the Elf world and the kingdom of the High Elves and the home of the supreme entity Elven Celeste, Sal Evictus.
Um, trying to learn more about Salvictus, I flipped to a chapter.
You flip to the chapter on the Origin Lagoon, and it says, "The Origin Lagoon got its name from the Origin Age, as it was the first place where elves arrived. The Origin Lagoon is a massive freshwater lagoon that is home to countless ocean animals and hybrid animals as well. At the center of the Origin Lagoon sits the island and kingdom of Salvictus. Salvictus was founded by the High Elf King Elven Celeste, 7th rank supreme entity, and is home to the High Elves. At the entrance of the Origin Lagoon is the domain of the Water Dragon Lord, who has made their home there since the Mythical Age. The Water Dragon Lord works with the High Elves, and as a deal, in return for the High Elves protecting her domain, she allows them passage through the Origin Lagoon.
Okay, so to enter, to exit through that, exit, you'd need to, basically get through the Water Dragon.
Lord, yes.
Yeah. Interested, I flipped to the next page about Salvantis.
You flip to the paper. You flip to the chapters about Southantis, and it says, one of the last civilizations to be established in Alvania, Southantis is the home of the Drow Elves. The Drow Elves, a unique species of elves, are the elves that live underground and harvest metals, and are the kings of metallurgy and the most physically adept of all the elves. They live in the underworld, and over the past few thousand years, have created the largest kingdom by size in the entire world. Southantis is a massive kingdom connected by underground networks, caves, and tunnel systems that connect their massive cities together. Because of their limitless expansion underground, no one truly knows how big Southantis is, as only Drow Elves really understand how to navigate them. But experts estimate that it is easily 4 to 5 times as large as Salvictus.
Okay. Remembering that I met, or saw someone who was, an elf from Lunar, I flipped to that page to discover, or a moon elf, sorry. I flipped to, the page on Lunar.
And then you flip to the page, it says the Ever-Illusionary Evernights and the Exclusionary Moon Elves. The Sal Lunar is also one of the later cities to be established in Alvania after the migration, and is situated at the center of the Evernight. The Evernight is a perpetually dark region of Alvania, as it feels that light can never penetrate the leaves. The grass, the plants, the animals, and the trees are often unique to the Evernight and contribute to its ever dark and foreboding atmosphere. Walking through the Evernight is like a constant battle against illusions. The trees themselves seem to be constantly moving, and it's so easy to get lost, thanks to the Moon Elf magic cast over almost the entire forest. Sitting in the center of the Evernight is a city of Sol Lunar. Little is known about Sol Lunar, and unfortunately, this book only provides rough knowledge that Sol Lunar is the city of the Moon Elves and the center to the Moon Faith. Anything else about the city is kept under tight wraps by the Moon Elf and is not known by the public.
I'm guessing time is moving really quickly while I'm reading these, right?
Yes, it's been 2 hours.
I guess the next thing I do is read about Sawalonia. Why not?
Deciding to just learn all you can about Alvania, you flip to the pages about Sawalonia. Sawalonia, the city in the center of the Haldrados Forest. The Haldrados Forest was founded by the king of the Wood Elves, Haldrados, when he discovered the forest. It is by far the most resource-rich region, besides in terms of natural resources, in the entirety of Alvania. Because of this, the city that sits in the center, the Wood Elf kingdom of Sawalonia, is the richest kingdom in all of Alvania. It takes advantage of trade coming in from Kestriel and Dalhaven via its very powerful port city of Winfield, and brings goods across through the oasis into the Great Fairy Forest, into the Evernight, and to the Plateau of the Sun. They are essential for trade in the Elf Kingdom and have made a lot of money off of it. The Haldrados Forest itself is filled with countless trees, wildlife, plants aplenty, and often supplies a lot of food to the continent as well. Saulonia itself is a very unique city, as its buildings and structure is made out of living trees and other plants, as is par with wood elf culture, and is known for its prosperous society because of its trade. However, the Haldrados Forest has also been known to house very dangerous animals, including the infamous magical apex predator, the Syntrex, which plagues Elvania a couple times every year. Damn, Jamal died.
Sorry. Realizing that's enough places of geography for right now, I choose to go back down to the librarians and ask them about, I guess, like, the history section instead.
Putting the book away, it is now like early afternoon. You, around 3 p.m., you approach the librarians and ask them about the history section. History, huh? That would be the third floor, right side.
I go up to there, and when I am there, I investigate, trying to find, again, like another comprehensive book where I can skim through it quickly.
You find a very, very large-looking book and then a few holistic ones. You find mainly the history of the demon realm, the history of Elvania, the history of Castriel, the history of Ashurbenog, and the history of Dalhaiven.
See, I reject all of search for the history of the world, I guess. I go for the history of Alvania.
Yeah. You open the book and it says, it's a very large book, and it says, this book contains a general overview of the continent of Elvania. You think that you could probably maybe get through the first few chapters before it starts to get late. The chapters are organized by ages, almost like mega chapters, almost like mega chapters. The first chapter, this book also tells you about the age. You learn that the origin age was the first age was the origin age, 5,000 to 4,000 years ago. The second age was the mythical age, 4,000 to 3,500 years ago. The third age was the human age, 3,500 to 3,000 years ago. The fourth age was the development age, 3,000 to 2,500 years ago. And the fifth age was the monster age, 2,500 to 1,500 years ago. The sixth age was the imperial age, 1,500 to 500 years ago. And the last and current age is the peaceful age, 500 years ago to today.
Sorry, what was the second one called?
The mythical age.
Mythical, okay. Realizing that the way to understand my position in this world and why I am here is probably to start trying to understand why this world is even a thing. Quickly, with the amount of time left, is there time left?
You assume that you have maybe 4 hours before the library starts to close?
I try to get to the origin age, I guess.
You assume that attempt to get through the origin age history of Elvania. It says the Elvania. It says the Elvania. It said Elvania is the most magically adept continent in the world. It is the home of the most magically powerful creatures, and was one of 3 continents created in the start of the origin age. The Elvania was home to the first ever race to be created, the Fae. The Fae were created by the most powerful of all the gods, Seraphiel. Known as the mythical goddess Seraphiel, also known as the goddess of magic. Seraphiel created the Fae, as well as the Fae Monarch, the second supreme entity and one of the most powerful beings in the world, to oversee the Fae. She sent the Fae Monarch to the Great Fairy Forest, and she now oversees all the Fae using telepathy. The Fae Monarch would quickly gain dominion over the entire Great Fairy Forest, but not wishing to expand further into Elvania because she didn't feel the need to. During this period, the Fae Monarch would become an incredibly powerful very powerful force, wanting to learn everything there is to know about magic. She would spend many a times discovering a lot of the magic spells we know today, and is responsible for our understanding of magic in ways we don't even understand. During the Origin Age, in an attempt to learn how to use summoning magic, the Fey Monarch at the time would whose name was hold on. Yeah, okay. So the first Fey Monarch was known as Orifei. Orifei was an incredibly powerful sorceress and obviously the Fey Monarch. In an attempt to learn more about summoning magic, she ended up accidentally inventing a demon summoning spell. With that demon summoning spell, she would eventually summon the demon Zod. Zod would become the first demon to transverse the realm. To the second realms. Then he would eventually become the first ambassador and diplomat to the fairies. Through Zod, Aura would learn how to properly transverse the realms and would eventually find a way, with the help of the first demon emperor, the first demon emperor, Cain Rosenfell, and they would work together to eventually create a way to successfully bridge the realms. Through their help, through his help, Aura managed to make a spell that would allow her to transverse the demon realm, and with an entourage of fairies, meet with the demon emperor for the first time in Velzagard, and what would become known as the Conventus Sumai Anamae, the meeting of the supreme entities. During this meeting would be when the concept of the supreme entities were established as protectors of the realms. Aura would be granted dominion over the entire continent of Elvania, and Cain would gain rule and dominion over the entire demon realm. This meeting established the precedent that the supreme entities were the rulers of the world, and after the meeting, the fairy-demon relationships would continue throughout the age, with a generally mutual respect shared between the two immensely powerful beings. With this newfound ability, Aura would continue to study demons and the demon realm through the latter half of the Origin Age. She would make many incredible discoveries in the relationship between demons and the demon realm, as well as the connection between the overworld and the demons. She discovered that, like fairies, demons have souls made up of magical power. However, their souls were directly attached to the demon realm. This meant that any demons that went to the overworld wouldn't have a physical body and thus were a lot less powerful. Furthermore, they could only exist for a certain period of time before having to return to the demon realm. However, Aura discovered that if a demon acquired the soul of a being in the overworld dimension, they could acquire a physical body and the ability to live on both realms interchangeably. The study of soul corridors and soul links would continue on amongst fairy scholars, with the field of research eventually being passed on to the elves. But during the Origin Age, the understanding of souls would remain archaic for a long time. Furthermore, during the Origin Age, the Origin Age is also known for its high amount of godly intervention. During both the Origin and the Mythical Age, many gods would make residence in the actual world of Althvinhaim, including but not limited to the bladed god Arios and the god of the desert Kinshin. It's said that during the Origin Age, Kinshin had established one of the most prosperous kingdoms in the entire world, even outclassing the actually. Hold on, let me make sure I did this correctly. I want to be sure that I wrote this down right. Yeah, it says that also during the Mythical Age, it's said that during the Origin Age, it is said that Kinshin also experimented with an ancient race lost to time. They were said to be the fourth race in the world, but they weren't considered a race because they were basically creations of Kinshin, and only beings created by Seraphiel, Daedalus, or Cassiel were recognized as official races of Althvinhaim. This goes kind of a side project of Kinshin to experiment on his own, but weren't recognized as an official race. However, his kingdom would end up becoming the most technologically advanced in all of Elvania. becoming incredibly prosperous and powerful. However, Kinshin got too greedy. It's said that in the latter half of the Origin Age, Kinshin challenged Orifei to a battle in an attempt for dominion over Elvania. He thought he would win because he was a god. He was proven sorely incorrectly. Using the ultimate spell the ultimate Earth spell when dynasties collapse, in just a single spell, Kinshin's empire and kingdom was reduced to nothing. Not a single ruin was left remaining, with even the stone bases of the townhouses reduced to sand. You kind of pause a bit as you read this part of the book. Because everyone had told you, especially the Mages Guild, that super tier was the highest, but this has informed you that there is a higher tier, ultimate spells. And after reading what happened to Kinshin's empire with just one of these spells, you can imagine why that kind of knowledge generally is not treated. You don't just know about ultimate spells, but reading this information shudders at the thought that one spell could bring an entire kingdom off the map completely. Despite this, you continue reading and finish off the chapter as it ends with the story of Kinshin, and finish the chapter of the Origin Age. It took you about 2 hours to read.
Realizing that I probably may be able to finish another chapter, but since I do still want to get food, I will have to leave. And I guess I gotta just walk towards my inn.
You put the book away, thank the librarians for their time, and return home. Return to the inn. You return to the inn and you ask about dinner, and they say they also serve dinner too. You spend some time eating dinner, still thinking about what you're saying, when Marikoth approaches you again and kind of asks if he can sit next to you. Well, sit at your table.
I allow him.
Yeah, he sits down and says, "So, how was your literary excursion?"
You're searching them because I spelled them wrong. No, but I say like, it's very enlightening. I learned about the Kinshin empire, or whatever, Kinshin's kingdom. Is it okay? Oh my god, it's not that bad, I swear. Look, oh well. Okay, but okay. That was just like capitalization. Okay. I tell him, it's good. I do ask him, one of the things that I read in the history, but I can't quite recall because, I didn't put it in my memories. What are the three creator gods' names?
He's the three first gods. Oh, you mean Seraphiel? Well, there's the goddess. There's the mythical goddess Seraphiel, the human god Daedalus, and the monster god Kessiel.
Okay, no, Connor, it's not that bad. Okay. So, okay. My character's just suddenly remembering everything super clear. No, but yeah, okay. So my character asks him, what did you do today? I guess
He said,
just small talk.
just kind of lazed around. Went out to get some lunch, hung around with some friends. There are some other demons here if you'd like to meet them. No fallen angels though, unfortunately. He says, other than that, I have a lot of money from odd jobs that I kind of been saving up, so I've been taking the past few weeks kind of as a break.
I asked him, what kind of jobs can you get here?
He says, there's lots of kinds of jobs. I'd recommend going to the Adventurers Guild, personally. They have job opportunities there for you, but people making requests.
Curious about some stuff I just read. Ask him, does he know about Salvictus?
Oh, the High Elf Kingdom? I mean, kind of. Why do you ask?
Do you know how people get in and outside the country? Can I just go in there, or is there some extra judicial process?
He laughs at you, kind of saying, "Oh, yeah, I guess you don't know. Only High Elves are allowed in Salvictus."
Is there a specific reason for this, or
They believe they're superior to everyone else.
nationalism? I then proceed to turn the conversation to another kingdom. Do you know about Salfantis?
The Drow Elf Kingdom? Haven't been there before, but I've purchased some of their weapons and armor, and I have to say it is top quality.
Do you believe is there a lot of do they have access to superior materials than you would see here?
Oh, absolutely. They're the kings of metallurgy and blacksmithery.
Because I was asking a blacksmith in a town I was just in, and he
City.
said that. Sorry, what?
City.
Oh yeah, city, yeah. And I realized that there'd be they don't really have their hands on many valuable materials here. You'd have to like go find them yourselves. But maybe if Salfantis is this really large underground network, they may have already found many materials that could be easily bought and maybe made into quality weapons.
Yeah, well, no shit. Salfantis has a monopoly over basically every organ in the fucking world. They sell it across, but they sell it to every continent. They even sell that shit to the demon realm. They just like to mark up the prices because, you know. However, the dwarves in Castriel give them a run for their money, I'll say that much. The person you talked to probably couldn't get their hands on them because they probably don't have the money for it.
Do you know about Salwalonia? Have you heard anything from there recently?
The Wood Elf Kingdom? I heard that, I mean, besides the fact that they're a very big trade city, not really. I actually did hear recent news that a Sintrek showed up. Sintrek showed up there. First, it was the first one of the year, actually, but it was taken out by one of the powerful Wood Elf guards.
What is a Syntrax exactly?
Sintreks? They are fucking nasty creatures. You know?
Okay. Well, it was bound to happen.
There are these. What's the most terrifying thing about them, besides their sheer strength and power, is the fact that they're hypervores. You know what that is?
No.
Yeah, hypervores are creatures that are constantly hungry. No matter how much they eat, they will always want more, which makes them terrifying creatures because it means that even if no matter how much you hit them or damage them, the fact that if they don't eat, they'll die motivates them to a terrifying degree. Even if you cut off their leg or cut off their tail, they'll still charge at you and attempt to eat you because if they don't, they'll die anyways. They're a dangerous apex predator that hunt the forests of the Haldrados Forest and the Great Fairy Forest. And they have two incredibly strong limbs with spines lying in the front of it. They have a dark blue fur with some black spots. If I recall correctly, their body's long and their back is covered with spines similar to their legs. They also have 2 heads, each with 3 pairs of eyes and multiple rows of rather sharp teeth. And I've heard that they can run at incredibly fast speeds and tear flesh like it's paper. But because of their insatiable appetite, only a handful ever exists at a time. Which is why news quickly spread that one was found in the Haldrados Forest and, defeated. Although I did hear, actually, now that I think about, I have to check with my friends on this because one of my friends is one of my demon friends. He's an incubus. He's really big on like he reads the news a lot. He reads like the papers and such, and apparently from basically the person who defeated it. I forget the wood elf's name, but he submitted it to the news article to let the Althvinhaim know that a Syntrex had been spotted and defeated. And see, I'm remembering this. I have trouble remembering it now, but I believe that the papers said that the wood elf guard was assisted by a fallen angel. I think. I know it was a demon, but it might have been a fallen angel. I forget though, because I think that's why it caught my friend's eye, because it was a demon, and you don't really see, and the story of a demon getting caught up fighting a Syntrex and getting saved by a wood elf guard, definitely is an interesting story to put in a paper. The news of the Syntrex alone is enough to stir up trouble in Althvinhaim, and oftentimes when a Syntrex appears, a powerful countries, the nearest country will quickly dispatch a powerful group of adventurers to take care of them, which is why it was in the news. But yeah, I'll have to confirm with my friend later. But I can stop by them tomorrow and confirm to you not whether if you're interested in it, if it really was a fallen angel or not.
Interesting. Okay. I feel like at this point I would just go back to my room and think about what to do the next day, right? Bid them goodbye and then think, because my character technically I think has 3 options, right? So after the week is up, right, and I'll probably return quickly before the festival starts, right? But it's I could try to go to South Fancies and try to get better weapons and materials, right? Investigate a new area on the map. Go to South Wallonia, although I need a reason, and I don't really have a good reason other than things are happening in South Wallonia, right? Or I think this is a later game, because I would get killed if probably discovered.
Yeah.
But if I went to Asylvius, I do have the ability to change how I look very weakly, right? If I get hit or something, it's gonna change back. So I think later games I could go into Asylvius. I'd need to not get too searched though, right? Because if they mess around too much, I think they'd figure it out.
You thank with the night approaching, you thank Markov and head upstairs and go to sleep, along with Elijah. You wake up the next day, and a bit later this time into noon. I guess the comfort, you kind of aren't used to the comfortableness of your bed and accidentally sleep in. So yeah, you're awake now.
I think. How long does the session go on?
2 hours and 45 minutes.
Did beat that by how much? An hour. Okay. We can go a bit longer. I go back to the library, trying to discover more information. Unsatisfied with how much I have.
As you walk downstairs with lunchtime, you suddenly get stopped by Markov. And he says, Kylian, great that I found you. I wanted to tell you something. So I met up with my friend, Incubus friend, and he did confirm to me after reading the paper again that the demon that supposedly assisted the Wood Elves in defeating the Syntrex was a fallen angel. Just, the papers did confirm that. I just, got that confirmation.
What paper do you guys read?
It's just called Elf News. You can probably find it if you go. There's a fucking newspaper shop across the. I'll give you the directions later if you want to see it. They hand out the papers there. But yeah, just so you know, because it was interesting to me because you're honestly the first fallen angel I've seen in Althvinhaim ever since I arrived here, and so the combined news of a Syntrex appearing and a fallen angel appearing in Althvinhaim at the same time is interesting to us demons.
Oh, indeed, yeah. Sounds very interesting. I might have to go there eventually. I don't know.
Yeah,
I will
I
have
would
to stay
recommend
here
going to
for a while.
Salwalonia, especially because it's a very fun, it's very like relaxing place. You know, lots of nature, lots of trees. Oh, and also if you ever want to leave Elvania, Winfield is the place to go. Absolutely, they have like the most advanced ships, really well documented dockyards, and so if you ever want to take a boat to either Castriel or to Dalhaven, Winfield is the city you want to go to.
Okay. Wait, sorry. What's the city called again?
Winfield.
Winfield. Okay.
It's
And
the I think like the southeast city of Salwalonia.
I thank him. I tell him that I'm gonna go back into the library, try to discover more about the history of this world,
Mhm.
and I oh, please. I go on to I just go into the library.
You walk back to the library, and you walk back to the library unimpeded, and enter it once again, heading up the elevator back to the library. Well, you're kind of staring at the library, looking around, deciding which section you want to look at today.
Realizing that I've gotten some geography knowledge on some of these places, I try to continue with my search into history, with the mythical age, I guess.
You decide to spend your afternoon reading up on the mythical age portion of Elvania. This chapter definitely seems the longest, so you think that this will probably take the longest. So it says
God.
that, yeah, it's the mythical age. It says this. This is the part of the book, the part of the history of the mythical age. It says that in all of Elvania's history, the mythical age is definitely the longest of any of them in Elvania's history. You realize. It says during the mythical age, most importantly, two races were created: the dragons and the elves. It said the creation of the dragons isn't too impactful to Elvania, as the dragons historically haven't had much interest in the continent besides the Water Dragon Lord. What matters more is the creation of the elves. The elves were Daedalus's first creation, and he originally had them live on the continent, the human continent of Dalhaven. However, Dalhaven up until this point has been much more of a battleground than anything and because of this, the elves who weren't strong enough to take on the Leviathans were forced to flee to Elvania. They were led by the High Elf King Elven Celeste, the 7th ranked supreme entity, who is still alive today, actually, and he led his people to Elvania, a continent where, by comparison, was like heaven compared to Dalhaven. His protection over his people would grant him the apex skill and grant him his apex skill, and also also he would become the 13th supreme entity, not like ranked, but like the 13th person to become a supreme entity. Over the mythical age, the elves would establish dominance over the continents. When they first arrived, when the Elven Celeste first arrived on the continent, he met with the first Water Dragon Lord Vritra. He made a deal with Vritra, and that pact still exists today between the High Elf King and the Water Dragon Lord that maintains the balance between the two. After arriving in Elvania, the elves quickly spread across the continent. First, the Wood Elf King would establish Salwalonia in the Haldrados Forest. He would establish his kingdom, his cities, taking advantage of the natural forest to establish a very large kingdom. Then Asylvius was established as the High Elf King's main base of operations and his kingdom. Over time, the people would spread across, with Sal Kyrith being established, then Sal Fantis, and eventually Sal Lunar. During this time, the elves would also eventually come in contact with the Fae, who had, of course, never seen them before. Elven Celeste would personally meet with the Fae Monarch and discuss the arrival of the elves. The Celeste explained the plight of the elves to the Fae Monarch, who was willing to offer the rest of the continent to them because she herself didn't really expand her dominion beyond the Great Fairy Forest. They agreed to a deal, and the Fae and the Elves appeared to would continue to get along for now. But over this time, of course, the Elves would continue their domination over the continent, establishing themselves and their kingdoms. This period would take a very long time in almost all of the Mythical Age, and would spend much of their time developing their civilizations. The Elves proved to be very smart and logical beings. They were, unlike, especially compared to humans, they were able to develop civilization much faster than humans and create successful societies much faster than humans. So as such, over the Mythical Age, much time would be spent establishing the cities. In Kyrith, the Sun Faith would officially take hold in its true roots, and the worshipping of Mendius would begin. In Salthantis, the mass construction and excavation of the city would begin, and it still continues to this day, and the start of their great expansive kingdom would begin. The Moon Elves almost instantly would recluse into the Evernight and Sol Lunar, not wanting to interact with the rest of the elves, and even today, the only real Moon Elves that are ever seen commonly are the representative the Moon Elves send to the yearly convention of elves in Sol Evictus. Today, the Mythical Age oversaw the establishment of the elves and their cities and their kingdoms across the continent, the establishment of Elven Celeste as one of the supreme entities, the meeting and pact between the Water Dragon Lord and the elves and the Fey Monarch, as well as the first ever development of large, widespread civilizations in anywhere in the world of Althvinhaim. You finish the chapter on the Mythical Age and kind of look around, realizing it's been about 3.5 hours.
My bad. Sorry. When is the Mythical Age time period-wise?
4,000 to 3,500 years ago.
Okay. Okay. How much time is left of the day?
It's like 4 o'clock.
Okay. In that case, I will try to do, realizing that, like, there are, okay. Realizing that I'm still not, ready to embark, I guess, like, I just continue with, the human age at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'll become a historian in this world. This is how I get ready for trivia. You nerds are learning.
Oh,
I'm
real.
learning it in lore.
Bro's learning history canonically. You know what's
Yeah,
funny?
it is-
Because there is a history section in the Jeopardy quiz, so it is actually a part of it, admittedly.
It's gonna be like, which era did the Sun Elves flee their Dalehaven and come to Albania? It's like Mythical Age. Why did I know that?
I learned it in lore.
Yeah, I learned it in lore.
Okay. Realizing you still have a bit more time, you decide to learn about the human age as well. You read about the human age and the human age perspective from Elvania, and this chapter is honestly quite short. It basically describes further developments in the Elven kingdoms, continuous architectural developments and cultural developments within the Elven races, but it only takes you an hour to read, because as the age suggests, it's the age of humans. Not so. You imagine that the book that would have the longest human age would most definitely be the Dalhaven book.
Makes sense. Like, I guess, like, check out Dalhaven book, because I mean that's when the lore is gonna come in. Haven book or more. Okay. In that case, what is in the developmental age?
The development age you read is also, the book also iterates that, like, once again, the development age is a very human-orientated, Althvinhaim-orientated age. However, it does state that over the development age of the of Elvania, we saw very much a shift in policy in many countries. Wallonia started to expand its bureaucracy and create a more efficient mode of transporting goods and developing their economy. Salfantis also increased its bureaucracy to further increase proper managing of their many, because over the human age, and at this point Salfantis is starting to get very massive, and so they needed a better bureaucratic and governmental system to manage each individual city and tunnel effectively. Meanwhile, in Sol Kyrith, the Sun Faith continued to dominate over the country. However, as the cities began to grow bigger, for the more secure and the system of bureaucracy between the priests, bishops, cardinals, and high priests start to be established more unilaterally and more effectively. And of course, knowledge on Sal Lunar is still few and far between, and Sal Evictus, as they are under the rule of the Supreme Entity, don't really change much.
Okay. Is the day almost over?
It's like 6 p.m.
Realizing that okay. I'm gonna guess the monster age is also short, so why not that one?
Realizing you have some time to kill, you decide to read upon the Monster Age. The Monster Age, the book describes as the Monster Age is a very important age in history. Monster Age is when Cassiel decided that civilization was finally developed enough to introduce monsters into this world. Not just animals, but the slimes, goblins, skeletons, zombies, vampires, orcs, kobolds, and other incredibly powerful beings. This would see this would see the halting of civilization and rhetoric amongst places having to be changed in order to deal with the monsters. However, like the other two ages, this age largely affected Castriel, the Demon Realm, and Dalhaven, and had little to almost no effect on Elvania because of just the sheer power of the elves and the fae. So largely speaking, thanks to the power of the elves, the Monster Age generally left Elvania largely unaffected.
Okay, that makes sense. I hate this, but it keeps trying to autocorrect Albania to Albania, and I can't handle it.
Yeah, it does that to me as well.
It's just, I can't. It's
Everyone
not
knows
Albania.
The Elf Kingdom? Nah, bro, Albania.
I mean, to be fair, it might have elves. I've never been there, but
Yeah,
come on, man.
Albania might have elves. Yeah, Elpis is back. Yeah, Elpis was shitting his pants when he heard Merkoth talk about news about a fallen angel helping a wood elf defeat a Syntrex in Sawalonia. Bro was actually shitting his pants.
No, I'm just gonna show up there and just. I mean, to be fair, he is like. I can't just like fight Elvis, and I don't have a reason to. No motive.
Yeah.
But like if only.
He already is in Elvania, you dumb fuck. Elpis, are you special?
I'll have to come to Sawalonia. I'm in South Kyrith right now. Not really near you.
No, you've been here in the beginning. Shut the hell up. You know, he literally said he was in Sal Kyrith, aka the Sun Elf Kingdom. You were here in the beginning. Don't act like you weren't. Stop trying to make excuses for your stupidity.
No.
Why is like the one thing no one here can seem to remember is where everyone is. Jamal and Elpis are in Elvania. Me and Burb are in Dalhaven, and Dread is in Castriel. Why is this so hard to remember?
Shouldn't Crystal be doing lore too?
Oh yeah, Crystal's also in Elvania, right? I mean,
he's just like.
I mean, she could, but I could ping her about it. But I don't really feel like it. Anyway.
Well, okay. See, I would meet with you, Elvis, but I need a reason to go to Sawalonia. That makes sense for my character. And like, I mean, I don't know if like some fallen angel also being there makes sense. I mean, it might. I could try to string it, but I mean, maybe. I'm probably not gonna go sell the Victus though,
Yeah.
because that's gonna kill
At
me.
this point, after finishing the chapter in the Monster Age, it's roughly 7 p.m., pretty late at night, and it appears that people are starting to leave the library.
Okay. I leave the library, and go back to get food at the inn, searching for my boy Markov.
Yeah. You return to the inn and pick out some dinner and sit down, and once again, Mirkoth appears, seemingly out of nowhere. He seems very good at that, and sits down with you again and says, "So, want anything new?"
I just realized that there's a okay. I realized that in the mythical age. Sorry, I mean, I guess like what did I learn this part? Honestly,
What did you learn?
I mean, I learned that I guess the human developmental and the monster age, right? Like how influential they were to places that are not Albania, and Albania stands as like one of the most powerful continents in like repelling forces like the monsters, right? So realizing this, and also realizing that Dalhaven seems to have a lot of problems in Castriel with monsters, I realized I got a safe zone for the most part. I mean, not where I spawned, but you know, for the most part.
Yeah, the Marikoth kind of laughs, like, yeah, Albania is definitely one of the more peaceful continents. If any continent that's the least peaceful, it's definitely Castriel. Dalhaven's pretty peaceful, but the peace there is very fragile. I assume you wouldn't know about the War of Humanity.
I do not. What is that?
Yeah, it was the final coalition. It was the most recent war in Dalhaven, again with the coalition of human states led by the Republic of Asylvius against the imperialist empire of Zarconia. The war was fought again between the two, and a stalemate was eventually reached, and a truce and an armistice was placed between the two leaders. And ever since then, you could say peace has reigned over the continent, but like it's pretty obvious that it wouldn't take much to break said peace.
Okay. What's the war called again? War of
The War
what?
of Humanity.
Okay, War of Humanity.
There's actually a
Okay,
previous war known as the War for Dalhaven that was specifically between the theocratic state of Lorraine and the Republic of Asylvius versus the Empire of Zarconia. But I don't really know much else other than that, to be honest.
I ask, Zarconia seems to be getting into a lot of conflicts. Does something make them special?
Oh yeah, the Empire of Zarconia is a very recent nation. They sprung up at their creation sparked the Imperial Age. Basically, before that they were the Neo-Mevadora Kingdom, and up until this point, the Republic of Asylvius had really been expanding its dominion, taking over the Great Desert, the Highlands, and pushing into the eastern part of the Incheon Basin. And they were planning on taking over the Neo-Mevadora Kingdom, and with their alliance with the theocratic state of Lorraine, because the theocratic state of Lorraine is Western Vitidist, the Republic of Asylvius is Eastern Vitidist, they have that connection with each other. They work together. We're going to work together to take over the Neo-Mevadora Kingdom. But during this time, a child prodigy named Zarkon Matthias rose to power at the age of 18, and in an attempt to repel the Vasilius and Lorraine forces, attempted to negotiate with the Earth Dragon Lord, who made their domain in the southern forests of Dalhaven. And it's said that Zarkon's confidence to face the Earth Dragon Lord alone without anyone else in an attempt to save his people gained him recognition from the gods and granted him an apex skill, making him the 15th supreme entity. And it was big news in the world because a human had never become a supreme entity, nor ever even gotten close to being one. So Zarkon rising to power with an apex skill and becoming a supreme entity immediately put as well, and he also successfully negotiated with the Earth Dragon Lord to incorporate the entire resource-rich southern forest into the Empire of Zarconia, easily making it contendable with Vasilius. So, in the War for Dalhaven, when Vasilius and Lorraine invaded, Zarkon and his forces easily beat them back and took back portions of the desert and land up to the Lorraine Peak. establishing the Empire of Zirconia. And he quickly took no time to cultivate the southern forest, establishing lots of trade cities along the coast, increasing their wealth and power. And this would obviously lead to the War of Humanity, because Vasilius recognized the new power that Zarkon held, and so they united all of the human states, the Kingdom of Akron, the Theocratic State of Lorraine, the Republic of Vasilius, the Linkston, the why am I blanking on what Linkston's title is? Oh, the Grand Council of Linkston, all together to fight against Zarkon, which eventually led to the armistice I mentioned.
Okay, that makes sense. I now ask, do you know, can anyone enter, Southantus?
Southantus? Yes and no. You can enter by yourself, but the tunnels are so damn confusing. If you don't have a drow elf guide, you'll definitely get lost.
Do you know where I could find a guide?
Adventurers Guild, put in a commission, I think would be your best bet.
Okay. I guess like at this point again, like feed the dog, go back to my inn,
Yeah.
and I think we end the session here, right?
Sure. It's 3 hours and 8 minutes. If you want to go for another 40, you could beat Dread, but
maybe another day. Elvis should do the recording though, because he just left and like isn't. Isn't it later?
Gone. Well, he said 6, and I can't do 6 because I'm going out to eat.
You could just ask him to do it now,
I
right?
don't know. I don't think he can. I think he can listen, but he can't
speak. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I'll go ahead and stop the recording.